We are
I
live.
think we're live.
We are live. We are in better resolution.
Hopefully it's working, and hopefully everyone can hear us. Give us a thumbs up in the chat if audio's good. Hopefully everyone can hear us. Give us a thumbs up in the chat if audio's good. Where's your volume? Sorry.
That's why we do this test. That's why we do this test.
You gotta quit messing with my settings and not telling me.
Sorry. Also, apologies for the late start. It was a super technical issue that we had a team of scientists working around the clock on to make sure we stopped it so that we could go live. However, the scientists failed and we are a little late.
Can I tell him what really happened?
Okay, fine.
He forgot about his laundry.
It took forever. I think that
all of the laundry was in the dryer. We have a road trip tomorrow and he had no underpants.
And the low setting is now ultra low. The medium setting is now low because the dryer is super old. So anyways, that's what happened. Sorry if we're a little late.
I was annoyed. If you're annoyed, I was annoyed.
We have folks in the chat though that we'd like to bring up. But just to set the ground ground floor for folks that may not know the channel and maybe watching this later, we are interested in why Christians still believe in their faith. We are both former Christians, and yeah, we just we have left the faith, but we are interested in knowing why perhaps people still follow the faith and to have intellectual conversations about it. So that being said, I think we're good. I think we'll go ahead and bring up our first guest. So we actually have first in the chat here is Max. Yay, Max. Okay, let's go ahead and bring you up. Max, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Except what the heck? Hold on here, Max. Okay. Oh,
an H is here.
Hold on. The problem is, let's see if I can fix this. There we go.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want you
started
down in the fire with us.
I wasn't gonna do you dirty like that, Max. That was my fault. But hey, now you're where you belong. Yeah, thanks for coming back, Max. I remember our conversation last time, and yeah, excited to continue where we kind of left off and go wherever you'd like us to go. We know you're over 18 for the YouTube police out there.
I hope I don't look too young or too old.
You're good. You're good.
Thanks for your video, by the way. It's good to put a face to the name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool.
So I don't know if that's okay with you, but I wanted to continue our discussion, but maybe in another direction as what it was before. I know that last time we spoke, you guys asked a lot of questions about some passages on the Bible and everything, but I'd be interested today, if that's okay with you, if we can go on more philosophical ground for why I believe there might be a spiritual realm to the world and not only a material, how the world might not be only materialistic and maybe there is more to the world than just material. If that's something you might be interested in talking about.
Yeah, I mean, anything is absolutely open. Now, we don't necessarily, and actually, I'll let you speak for yourself. We could have differing opinions, but I don't necessarily think that there's maybe not a spiritual realm. I tend to lean that there's probably not, but there could be. But for me, I think the big thing is that the Christian God is, in my opinion, definitely not true. Now maybe in some way, shape, or form there's a all-knowing, all-powerful entity, even if that's a alien kid in his bedroom somewhere doing a science experiment and we're in a petri dish,
or a game,
right? And we don't even know
video game analogy. I don't think that doesn't necessarily make sense.
I mean, that's where I come from, but I mean, interested in your thoughts on that.
What I just said.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So, anyways, yeah, but definitely happy to have that conversation. So, yeah, what were
Well,
your thoughts on that?
let me tell you why I'm interested in talking about that
Yeah.
today.
Give us a
And it's
little.
because I'm hoping that we can have a long-term discussion about the ideas of the Christian faith, but also about, the spiritual dimension. In my opinion, it would be interesting. And I kind of have my thoughts layered in terms of stages. So first, I to me, it makes more sense to believe in God if there's a spiritual dimension. And if there is no spiritual dimension, then there's not even, it's not even important to talk about God. So that's
That's
why I
fair.
was interested to
Yeah.
begin the my
It's
thought
almost like
process.
start
Yeah,
broader, and then if we
yeah,
want to bring it in,
Narrow it in, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
sure.
Because like the last time we spoke, I don't know if you remember, but I was an atheist first, and what brought me ultimately to Christianity was opening myself to the idea that there might be more to the world than only material. That was the first thing that brought me to the idea that Christianity might be true. So I was interested in sharing that with you if you want to know about why I made the jump to being a naturalist to more open about a spiritual dimension to the world.
Absolutely. No, actually, that's fantastic. And honestly, feel free too, because I think it's very important in these discussions, like to know where you're coming from. If you have questions about where we're coming from, one of the reasons why, like, we really appreciate callers like yourself is that we feel like there's a high level of honesty.
Agreed.
So, like the fact that I could admit we're an hour late because I was a bonehead with my laundry. I'm not I'm not gonna make up a story. So, anyways, yeah, no.
He
So
actually didn't even try. Like, I'm surprised that he wasn't like, hey,
that was just dumb on my part. Anyways,
such. No.
To that effect, definitely let us know kind of like where you came from, why you got to where you are, and where that platform sits
Well,
for you now.
I'm gonna be very precise, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna go to exactly what I think is the problem with the idea of nat- of only believing in the natural world. And to me, that comes specifically to the most the most personal insight that we all have about our consciousness. And it comes to the fact that, in my mind, if we believe that there is no way that there is more to our consciousness than the physical processes that is in our brain, then we have no concept to have any idea why our beliefs might be true. They might be conducive to survival, but in no way can we be sure, or even can it be probable that they are true. Do you kind of see where I'm coming from in that?
I think so. Let me repeat it back to make sure I understand correctly. So basically, if I'm understanding correctly, like if it's just instincts and it's just purely like, evolutionary like development,
Yep.
what you're saying is there's no way for us to really know what we know is true because it could be that we're fooling ourselves essentially a little bit.
Even
Like we
more,
can't know what we don't know.
even no, even more than that. I think we have a strong. I think that if we only have our reason and thoughts from physical processes that come from evolution and come from the drive for survival, then our thoughts and reasoning is not they are not uh, they're not going towards truth but towards survival. And
So
so
it's
we
like
yeah,
instinct versus like intellect.
even more than that,
Okay.
I think it's more probable for our thoughts and reasoning that they might be untrue than that they might be true if there is nothing
Yeah.
else than evolutionary processes that that come for us to have these ideas. Because when nature evolves in a naturalistic kind of way, it doesn't mean that you evolve towards truth. It only means that you evolve towards survival. And so, let's say you might have a thought that fire is hot, and so people that don't go into the fire might survive more than people that uh, jump into the fire. But that doesn't mean at all that fire is hot. It just means that you have survived because you have the idea that fire is hot. You might have another idea completely that might be completely wrong, like fire is bright, but like how can I say that? You
like
might
a moth
have
to a flame, like a moth to a fire flame, where it's like the saying, I don't know if it actually happens or not, but like moths are attracted to light, and so theoretically, according to the saying, they may die because they're going towards the light, but in fact it's fire. It's an instinctual evolutionary concept, but because of the danger of fire and the fact that it's also light, they kill themselves.
Sure, but do you understand what I'm saying? That because you are surviving, it does not mean that this is related to truth. It does not mean that because you survive that it is related to truth. Is that making sense to you?
What are your thoughts?
Yes and no, because even if you're going strictly off of instinct with only survival as your goal, if you are surviving, then what you're doing must be true, right?
Well, you might be
You might
surviving
not
because
know why, or you're not going
yeah,
to be able to explain it.
yeah, true. You might not know why, but
Right.
it doesn't mean that your thoughts are true. It does not mean that they are true, because even though you are surviving, you might just have, let's say you have a fear of fire because it's hot, but it doesn't mean that because you have a fear of fire that it mean that your fear is related to the truth of the fact that fire is hot. Do you see what I mean by that?
Is it sort of like so evolutionarily speaking, we as humans sense like patterns and certain sounds. So like
Yeah.
if you look at it like and I've done this like a million times subconsciously, where like I'll look at a piece of wood where like you're sitting, whatever, you're like laying in bed and you're like looking at the wall board or whatever, and it's like, oh, I see a face in that wood. Well, it's because like I've recognized a pattern.
So we have a workout room in our house upstairs, and there's a spot in the woodwork that I look at every time I need to focus for my balance that looks like a dog's face.
Now I'm gonna have to look for that dog's face.
I'll show you.
But
you probably never see it, but I love it.
But
it's like, okay,
you perceive that you see something. So like if you're in the like wilderness and you hear like something rustling in the grass next to you, instinctually you're kind of like, oh, it could be danger.
Yeah,
but in
exactly.
fact, it could just be the wind, and
it's
not
be the wind.
danger at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Exactly what I mean. You might be seeing a face in the dark, and that makes you, scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it might just not be there. And so if you extrapolate that further to our capacity to reason and our capacity to have thoughts, if they only come from these types of evolutionary survival instincts, there is nothing that makes us, and there is no grounding to think that they might be related to truth, only related to survival. Do you see what I'm saying there?
I do. Do you? Because like,
yeah. So there's a difference between doing something and knowing something.
Sure. Yeah.
And that might be a little like dumbed down, but I feel like, I don't know.
But absolutely, there's a difference. But if knowing something comes from these processes that are of evolutionary purposes, because the only thing that made you know something is your brain comes from these evolutionary purposes that slowly over time evolved, and are neurons firing into your brain. All of this is kind of an illusion that you have, that you know something. So do you agree with me that if there is nothing like the soul, then your consciousness is some kind of illusion that you have, that you believe that you are yourself, but actually, everything that you think comes from these neurons firing into your brain, and these were caused by many other things in physically, and so everything is physically caused from things before, and so you have the illusion or the impression that you are having these thoughts by yourself, but actually it's not really you. It's these physical processes that brings these thoughts to your mind. What I'm saying is that if these physical processes that brought these things to your mind are ultimately guided by evolutionary purposes, how can you be in any way sure that these physical processes came to the truth? Because they were guided by survival, not by truth. That's what I'm saying.
So I
That's
agree with
interesting.
everything that you're saying. Now, but what's interesting is, and I don't know for sure, but I agree with everything that you're saying. I think though that we might be on opposite sides of the platform in an interesting way, which is why this is one of my favorite conversations. So
amazing. I love this conversation.
yeah, this is good. This is
Yeah.
good. So a book that I would recommend, so anyone who's watching, I would recommend a book. It's by Anil Seth, and the author's name. That's I was looking at my phone because I was pulling up my audiobooks. It's Anil Anil, and then Seth, Seth. It's fairly new. The book is called Being You.
Being You.
Okay. Yeah,
I haven't read that one. We share a library.
Yeah, if you go and watch some of his YouTube stuff, you might get a flavor for what he's going for. But basically, the book is better because even if I'm an audiobook guy because I don't have the patience to sit down. I don't have the time to sit down and read books as much as I used to. But the thing that I like about it is that he uses a lot of modern studies, actual he's a a doctor at a university who has the capacity and resources to actually run real life studies. So he's gone so far as to create, and this is wild to me, he's created VR headsets that people will wear, and it will be exactly like the room that they're in. So they walk into a classroom and it's like, okay, we're going to put on this VR headset and we're going to run a series of tests, and there's a fake camera on the front of the VR headset. So the illusion to the person in the chair is that what you're seeing is the room, not what we're feeding your VR headset. And he does some crazy tests with people where you're just like, and what's wild about these tests, and we've seen all these optical illusions where it's like you're walking down the stairs picture, but it constantly goes around and around, or it's like these two shades of gray are the exact same, but no matter what you do, your mind will not see the two shades of gray. And then everyone, of course, remembers the dress from 2012 that was like
the blue
dress, but it's gold, but it's black.
Optical illusions are so
they're fascinating to me.
Wow, fascinating. Yeah.
And to your exact point, what the brain is doing is running a series of predictions based off of the very limited data that we're receiving through very basic sensors.
Yeah,
so our eyes aren't 4K, perfect renditions of what we're seeing. They're pretty basic, and we're interpreting that with our brain. So if colors are slightly different, but our brain interprets it as they're the same, we will see the same color. To your point, I agree. What we necessarily perceive and what we necessarily see, according to biological inference.
Well, and experience, and to your point, our first instinct, first and foremost, is survival, right? Protection of those we love, survival, base instincts come above and before knowledge.
I want to put my input there because I'm having goosebumps right now, because it's exactly the point. Think about optical illusions, but go further into just your own thoughts. Could your own thoughts be only optical illusion, the same way that optical illusions are? But they're like an they might be like an optical illusion of the truth, because like our perception is related to evolutionary ways that the eye is made, and these can have defects. The same thing can be true about our rationality if there is nothing outside of nature. You see, it's the same thing. If there's nothing outside of nature, our brain has developed for survival, not for truth. So the way we think, our reasoning, we cannot trust it. It's the same thing as optical illusion. We can't trust it.
Oh, and I don't
What do you think
disagree
about
with
that?
that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we ask so many questions all the
Yeah.
time, because
I think that proves that it's actually self-defeating to think that naturalism is true. It's self-defeating. If you say naturalism is true, actually you have good reason to believe that it's not true. Can you see my
Because
line of reasoning?
let me make sure that I
Yeah.
understand, and I'll repeat it back to make sure I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if what we perceive to be real is in fact real, then what we perceive is that through evolutionary processes, we came to be what we are and how we think today. However, according to those evolutionary processes and naturalistic ways that we came to be where we are now, it would show that in fact we can't trust our own thoughts because those processes are unreliable.
Well, I don't know if I agree exactly the way you've worded it, but the spirit of it, I think, is what I'm saying. Yes. What I would say is that the same way that our perception is made from evolutionary purposes to survive, the eye has evolved. And so we can see that the eye is not reliable because there's many ways that it can be defective. It does not mean that because you see something that it's not maybe an optical illusion. You know, the same way that the eye is unreliable, our thoughts come from our brain. Our thoughts, our reasoning, everything that you do mentally, if there is nothing else but nature, ultimately it's just come from evolutionary purposes. There is nothing outside of nature if you are a naturalist. So you cannot say or appeal for something else than evolutionary purposes for your thoughts. They come from neurons firing in the brain, and they come from physical processes, the same way that you perceive things with your eyes. But that is unreliable. That's unreliable. You cannot come to the truth by that. You cannot. It's only survival. It's not
yes
related to
and
truth.
no, but at the
Okay, yeah.
same time, you can't find truth without using your senses to analyze the things
But
around
how
you.
can you know that it's the truth? Don't you agree
Well, you
that?
have to start there, and then you have to challenge it.
Well, as I said, if
There's
there
no
is
way to
nothing
learn something without using your senses.
true, but I'm talking more about your mental life, your thoughts, your reasoning.
But
You
don't
can
you think
reason.
our senses still feed into that?
Sure, our senses feed into the way that we think, the way that we reason, but don't you agree that if there is nothing else but nature, the thoughts that you have when you reason, they come from physical processes in your brain? Don't you agree about that?
Yes.
Okay, well, if these physical processes are guided by evolution, if there's only nature, how can it be otherwise?
So I think that that's where you have like multiple data points. So there's like a difference between like hallucinations and controlled hallucinations. So I would
Mhm.
agree with you that everything that we experience is a hallucination. So like I am not you got to read the book. I'm not looking
Well, I'm
right.
just interested because this is not something we've ever discussed. So I'm like, wait.
Telling you.
But
Sorry.
I want
He reacted to my reaction.
I want to
It's a
push
reaction
more.
video in real time.
I want to push about what I'm saying because I don't think that you answered exactly what I'm said. Your capacity for reason. When you reason with your mind, okay, you're reasoning, okay. This comes from physical processes in your brain, right? These thoughts that you have come from physical processes in your brain. And these physical processes come from evolution. Do they not?
Yes, and actually, I am tracking with you. Let me finish my thought. I didn't mean to
Okay, sure.
derail it, Del. I
That
derailed
was
it.
Sure.
partially
Yeah.
my fault.
Sarah looking over
Yeah.
at me, and I was like,
my face didn't shut up.
So let me define controlled hallucination. So a controlled hallucination is right now. Is my body magically feeling the temperature of the air? No. Tiny sensors are sending a signal that it is saying that it's slightly warmer than my current body temperature, which is why I just turned the Nest thermostat down and the air conditioning kicked on. Are my eyes exactly seeing in perfect resolution everything out here in the wall? No. In fact, it's upside down, but my brain's flipping it right side up. Is my nose smelling that things are pretty much normal? Maybe that it doesn't sense the chemicals that would give off like a sulfuric smell or like, natural gas smell. So it's like I'm taking all of these senses in, and based off of all of these extra sensory things that each one of my biological things can sense in all different ways, I'm translating that into what I'm seeing as reality. Now, it's not perfect. And that's why it's referred to as a controlled hallucination, because what could happen is, what if my nose just stops working correctly,
or even if you're sick or something and it's not working
right
for a minute,
right? Or if all of a sudden I smell something and it smells like natural gas, but in fact it's something else, but my brain reports it as natural gas, and I'm all of a sudden
because of association.
Whoa, we've got to get the kids out of the house, there's natural gas in here. It's myself, my biological self, making the best interpretation of all of these abstract senses happening at the same time. So to your point, can I know that something is true or not? And I would say that you're correct, you can't. But what I would say is the fact that we have other people that have the same kind of senses, and the fact that we can communicate verbally or through other means, I would turn to Adele and say, do you smell gas right now?
So then you start to try to fact check, because what if I'm wrong?
And so you can communicate,
that makes sense to me.
because the other thing that has been done is there's been a lot of new studies with opioids, and where people have supernatural experiences. In fact, there's a it's called the God it's called the God mind. Yeah. It's like a a
part of
test.
I'm not sure.
The God helmet or something they put it on. I can actually look it up. I just can't remember the term of it. God helmet. But anyways, it's they put this. They wired this.
I'm just picturing
hat. They wired this hat so that when you put it on your head, it hit the right lobes, and it would induce a supernatural experience in people. They'd be like, "Wow, I'm seeing God," and it was this crazy experiment. And it wasn't that they were really experiencing God, but it was triggering that part of their brain.
Yep.
Now, if that person's the only person in the room with that hat on, they can say, "What? Are you guys seeing God?" And everyone else is like, "Bro, no, dude, it's your hat." We can kind of check each other a little bit.
Sure.
Is that along the same kind of concept?
But I think it doesn't answer the problem at all. Even if you check with other persons, that it doesn't change anything about the problem. The problem is that your capacity for reason, the thoughts that you have in your brain, well, these come from natural processes. And how can you trust them then? How can you trust them?
I don't think you can. I don't think we can.
That's it. That's my whole problem. You can't trust them. And even if you try to, let's say, check with others if they see the same way as you, even if you try that can all be part of your sensory and rationality. But all of this is completely determined by physical processes that come to your brain, and that all these things are all determined by evolution and survival, not truth. And
So then
so,
where does
yeah.
God enter in?
Well, I'm not yet entering God into the picture, because
Okay.
I just wanted to show that there is good reason first to doubt that the only thing that exists is physical reality. I think that my argument points to the fact that actually we kind of know that that our reason is not, it's not completely illusory, right? Or at least that's how I feel. Okay,
I mean,
feel
even
that
a jellyfish,
yeah,
with the most limited, like, brain, if you want to call it that, knows when to like shift in a direction, and
okay,
they can sense things. So even the most basic of life, if like, which is a scale, right? But the most basic of life, a plant, a tree,
hmm,
knows which direction to grow towards the sun. Like, you don't have to like have a godlike intellect to know this is real. You can
but
you can
there's a
yeah.
difference between doing an action and knowing something. Like, an organism might do an action, or like go towards the sun, doesn't mean that it knows or feels something, or has a thought intellectually in their mind. What we experience as humans, or at least what I experience, because I want to believe that you guys are also in the same realm of consciousness as me, but I actually feel like I am reasoning with thoughts, that I'm applying logic um, to determine if something is true or not. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm looking at what other people say, and I'm reasoning in my mind. I'm saying, okay, I think that that is true. Okay, that's what I'm using my capacity to reason to come to the conclusion that I think, okay, I know that this is true. What I'm saying is that all that I've described right now, if there is no soul, if there is only natural processes, that process that I used to come to the idea that something is true, I cannot trust it. And actually, it's probably not true, because when things are evolved towards survival, it does not mean at all that they evolve toward truth. It only means that it evolved towards survival, not truth. So,
Which is why I don't believe in a God.
well, I think that doesn't follow my idea is that would not follow. But don't do you agree with me then that we have a good reason to doubt that our reasoning comes only from natural processes, from what I said?
So if I'm understanding correctly, you're you're assuming that what we know is true. Are you
Well, I'm
saying that what
assuming.
humans know is true, and that's why there has to be a God, because the only way that humans can know what's actually true is because there's a God?
No, I would say that some things that we reason we can believe are true. And I think that because that we have this strong intuition that some of our beliefs are true,
What would
that
be some of those beliefs? So what are some of the things that
Yeah,
we
so
can
what
know that
what
are
can we
true?
yeah,
know is true versus not?
I believe that I exist. Yeah, I believe
That's
that I
fair.
exist. Yeah.
I actually
So
have
yeah.
a cousin who proposed to me for a very long time one time, and we did not have a good conversation. The discourse was horrible, but it's like,
Sorry for that.
if this person doesn't exist in this moment with you, they don't exist at all.
It's like the cat in the box
And
thing.
I was like, but I have given birth to a child. I know that person exists. And he goes, the argument, I was just like,
Well, I think that there are things that are obviously true to us. We believe that we exist, that the external world is true, it exists, or I believe that I love my child. There are things that are obvious to us that we believe, and so I think that we have strong reasons to doubt the idea that natural processes are the only thing that came to that made for us to believe that things are true. I believe then that there has to be more to reality than just natural processes, because otherwise we can't even trust that anything is true, or that anything that we rationalize is towards truth. That's a strong argument in my mind. But there is also more arguments that I could go towards the idea that there is dualism. That is to be said, that we have a soul and that we also have the brain. So what do you think about the idea that we have things that we believe intuitively that are true? And like I said, because we should doubt that things are true if they only come from natural processes. Don't you think that it's a good argument to say that that we have to doubt that the reality is only natural, and that there should be more to the world than only the natural realm?
I have a poster in the garage that I've had.
I almost brought that up earlier.
I've had a poster in the garage. It's in the garage now, but it's been actually in my house for like 20 years probably. And it is the poster that Fox Mulder from the X-Files had in his office that says, "I want to believe," and it has the UFO on it. And the reason is, now back then I was a believer when I got like first watched the X-Files. I didn't believe in aliens at the time, but I really wanted to believe that there was aliens, because I was just like, man, it just feels so lonely if we're just like out in the universe by ourselves. And it's funny because back then I thought there's no way there's aliens, because God would have put it in the Bible if there's aliens. That's what I was taught, and that's what I believed. And now it's actually kind of interesting, because now I believe that there probably is life out there. Now I believe that due to like
there's a lot we don't know out there,
light years and technology, it's possibly difficult for them to like communicate or make it to us. So it's interesting, because my mentality is kind of flipped, where it's like I wanted to believe in aliens before, but I felt like I couldn't. Now I kind of believe that there might be aliens. But it all goes to that point where it's like, what I want to believe, what I think would make me feel good to believe, like, doesn't necessarily make me believe. It's like I would love to think that because we feel like we know certain things, like I feel that if I were to punch some kid on the street in the face, that no, it's just, I'm using extreme.
What example. Are you going for, Josh?
Extreme example.
How so
if I was to be just super mean, if I was to be mean to someone and punch some kid on the street, and I'm using my left hand, I'm actually right.
Yeah, I'm like, that was a really great
What
punch.
is going on?
Yeah, that I would feel bad, and the reason I would feel bad is because I know, and I'm tapping into my past Christian self. I know that the Holy Spirit is telling me that the reason that's bad is because it's my inner conscience. And the only reason I have that knowledge, that truth, is because the Holy Spirit's telling me. But in reality, it's because if you grow up in any sort of a culture, whether you're a cat, and cats are the worst example, or like a dog, like you have some sort of like a tribe mentality, where it's like, if you bite somebody, like as a dog, you know you're going to get bit back by other dogs. Like, you can't do that. It's just like, it's like, whether that's truth or not, that the dog's like, oh, the Holy Spirit told me not to bite that other dog. No, it's because of an evolutionary process, like we're talking about.
I don't need to be punched in the face to know that it would hurt to be punched in the face.
Right, like I don't have to have cancer to know that I don't want cancer. Like it's one of those.
And
things.
I think we're derailing a little bit from
the argument. Well, I think we've come to the end of like that discussion, how it can go towards my argument. What I would say is that if you want to know more about that, I would say it would be interesting for you to look at.
Can I offer one more thought on it?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you consider the idea that like our idea of truth and what could be true, it's also like a scale? So like there are some things like I believe that gravity is true because I'm on the ground. Scientists.
Well, I don't exactly know what you want to say by that.
Well, I was trying to offer something that I don't think I have an argument against versus something that I very well could have an argument against. Like, I believe, I mean, it could be frivolous, right? Like, I believe Trix is the best cereal.
Or it could be like karma. It could be karma. Like
I think, Yeah,
Like,
I think there's enough.
Like,
yeah.
I just think that maybe there's also like got to be varied.
Like, I believe if I stick my hand in fire, my hand's gonna melt. But
yeah,
I'm not sure whether or not karma is real. Now, personally, I think that if you do good things in the world, it probably comes back good, not because of some magical
Or maybe
force,
it just feels good to say that.
but because in my life experience, if I've been nice to like 10 people, every once in a while, one of those 10 people have my back because they remember that I was nice to them once. So then it kind of reinforces this concept of karma.
I would say that there might be karma or there might be not, but there should be a fact of the matter. Either karma is true or not. That's how I would see it. I would not say that it can be true for someone or true for another person, or not true for another person.
I agree.
To my mind, truth is objective, and either something is true or not. So
I love that. First of all, let's establish in our conversations, if you're willing to, if you're willing to establish this, that truth is the most important thing. Now, that's for me. I don't want to speak for you. I don't want to speak for Adele, but for me,
or like seeking what's true.
Yeah, trying to find what's true is more important to me because I have people in my life where they believe things because it makes them comfortable.
Right.
No, they're like, I believe in this because it makes me happy, and that's okay.
You can believe
I just
things.
Can't do that.
Yeah. You can believe things for many, many reasons.
Of course.
Many reasons. But that's not related to what is true or not. You can believe something. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that it's true. It doesn't mean it's untrue. It's just that you believe that. Okay. So to me, I think it's clear that there is a fact of the matter of truth in any proposition that you say. So you can say, okay, karma exists. Well, either that's true or it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't just say it's true for me, but for you it's not. That doesn't make sense logically for me. Okay, so either God exists or not. It's the same thing, Okay, so what I want to say about my argument that I proposed is that I would say, if you want to know more about it, you could try to look at the evolutionary argument against naturalism by Alvin Plantinga. Okay, so he's a Christian scholar.
Give us 1 second to pull up our notepad.
Well, because I want to take a note on this. Evolutionary
argument against naturalism.
Got it. Yeah. It's a PDF. Okay, cool.
By Alvin Plantinga.
Okay.
Alvin
got
Plantinga.
it. Yep, got it. Okay. In fact, he's the first person that pops up on this.
Yeah. So he's, I think, the most eloquent speaker about that subject in my mind. And the point of his argument, like I said, is really about showing that naturalism is self-defeating, because if you believe in naturalism, then you have no grounds to believe that your rationality came to the truth. No, it probably came about because of survival. So I'm probably not using exactly the right words to convince you.
No.
Or maybe you're not even convinced after reading Plantinga, but I would.
Oh no! This is the first. I actually will. I will actually. I will. I just Googled it, and so I only have. But I'm going to leave it up so that way after we're
amazing.
Look it up.
Like
I'd
later,
love to talk about it later if you want to. So take a look at that, and we can talk about it later, because I think right now I've given like most of the crux of the argument, and I think that we'd have to go a bit deeper into the subject to talk more about that.
I don't think we would. I do have a question. I have a question. So, if let's presuppose something, because I get people that come in and presuppose all the time. I'm going to flip the tables, and I never do this. Let's flip the table. Let's presuppose that there is no God. Let's presuppose that we are just evolutionary people that do have flawed minds. Let's suppose that our flawed minds wants to feel special. And let's suppose that we want to think that we have the truth. I would suppose that if I wanted to think that I had the truth, that I would have some magical godfather that planted it in my brain, or however method.
Godfather, like God the Father, or like an actual Godfather?
Like, God the Father.
The Godfather.
Yeah, more of like a God the Father.
Just checking, like.
But
I'm not sure I follow already.
But what I'm saying is, I would be just like Alvin Plantinga, and I would say, guess what? These evolutionists, they can't know anything because they say they evolved from something that can't know anything. However, I, having evolved from something under this presupposition, can say I know everything because my belief that makes me feel good, back to that I want to believe poster, says that a magical godfather put this into my brain, even though I'm just a don't tell anyone evolutionary result. I'm special. Therefore, your argument's invalid because you didn't come from the god. You're saying because you didn't come from the god, you came from monkeys. You don't have an argument. However, I came from the God, and my God says I know everything. Therefore, I know everything. Can you see the flaw in that argument? It's circular logic.
Yeah, I can see the flaw in that argument. Actually, yeah. But although it's an interesting argument, I just don't know how it's related to.
Well, it's circular logic.
Yeah.
So like I will read this because I'm interested. But to say that people that believe that they came from naturalistic, let me put it this way: if a person says that another individual, if person A says they came from a god that knows everything, and person B says I came from monkeys, and person A says you monkey person can't know everything because you say you came from monkeys and are naturalistic, but I came from God, and therefore God says I know everything, therefore I'm right. But if both of the people are actually from monkeys, this person's just talking about everything you talked about in the beginning of this conversation, which is they also don't freaking know. Nobody freaking knows. It's just they're putting themselves above the other person.
But you're assuming that there is nothing. There's nothing like the soul in your argument, I think.
I don't know whether or not there's a soul. There could be. I would lean towards the fact that there's not.
But the crux of the argument, of Plantinga's argument, is about the fact that there is more to your cognition than natural processes, so that there might be a soul.
There might be a soul.
Well,
I can't.
I'm using might, but there's more, because the point of the argument is to say that it's self-contradictory, and it's not rational to believe that there is only the natural processes, because then your ideas came through the mechanism of evolution, and this is conducive to survival, not truth.
What if that's true?
Well, if that's true, then you cannot rationally believe that anything that you think is true.
I disagree. Yeah. I think that I can say right now, if I came from a naturalistic evolutionary background, that if I stick my hand into fire, that it will hurt and melt. And I can base that off of experience. I can also base it off of other data points, like I'd say, let's both put our hand in the fire at the same time. Now you're going to say, no. Well, how do you know that you shouldn't do that? Are you going to say it's because God told me?
No, absolutely not. No. I'm not saying that you couldn't. I'm not saying that you couldn't know not to put your hand in the fire. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that your ability to reason and your ability to know if what you think is the truth or not is the result of evolutionary processes, and so they are aimed towards survival, not truth. And so that means
isn't that one and the same? So is it knowing the truth critical to survival?
No, it's not critical to survival, because
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's not critical for survival, because you can survive because you believe something that is false. It does not. You don't have to believe for something to be true to survive. Let's say that there's monsters in the jungle, and they might eat you. Okay, so people that survive because they fear monsters in the jungle, they might survive more if they fear that there might be a monster, and there's not even a monster at that moment, because the point is that part of this is true, that there are animals that might eat them, but it does not mean that people survive more because they believe the truth. It means that they believe, they might fear something, but it's not exactly the truth. And so what I would say is that you can survive even if you believe something that is not the truth. Actually, you might believe something that is completely false, but that is more conducive to survival than something that is actually exactly true. Now, I don't think I'm being very clear when I'm saying that.
I'm tracking.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tracking with you.
But what's something that I
yeah.
could believe in that would help me survive, even if it was false?
You can believe
What's
that.
an example of that? Because that
I'm using the monster in the jungle, but let's say
gotcha. But there
yeah,
probably is. It might not be a monster, but it might be a wild animal.
sure, but that wild animal might not be dangerous in your situation specifically, but it might be in other situations. The fact that you're fearful of it might be more conducive to your survival in the end, but it doesn't mean that it's actually true that there is a monster waiting for you in that specific instance. So the fact that you believe that you're fearful of the monster in the dark doesn't mean that it's actually true that there is a monster in the dark in that situation specifically. So
how does this prove a God, though?
It doesn't prove a God. It only shows that it's self-defeating to believe that your mind, what you believe is true, comes from only natural processes.
What if it's not self-defeating? What if that's the wrong term? What if the term is problematic?
It could be problematic, and actually we're coming to a point where my study of the argument might be not as deep as it has to be, and I would need maybe to further up my research to be more clear about these specific.
Overall, it's fascinating and it's great conversation.
No, seriously, I bring this stuff up sometimes at parties and I lose people. So come back if you like continue the conversation.
Well, and we can read about this too.
And we're gonna read about Alvin.
Alvin,
we're not cutting you off. We're just saying.
Oh yeah, no. We can.
No, but I want to be on. We're talking. We often talk together about honesty, and I want to be honest that at the point that we're going in that discussion, I'm coming to a point where I'm realizing that I'd have to do more research to be more exactly clear into what I'm saying. And I don't want to start to say things that might not be precise, and that might just misrepresent the argument.
Absolutely.
But I still think that the crux of the argument is what I said. It's what I said. It's that you have good reasons to think that natural processes cannot come to make you believe in the truth. They only come to make you believe in something that is conducive to survival. So
I would the way I would leave it in terms of if this is where we're kind of come to the point where it's this is kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
I would leave it as I agree with that. I don't think that humans can know everything. I can't step outside of the universe and see if there's an alien kid running an experiment and that's what the universe is. If it's a series of big bang, big crunches that have gone on infinitively, we are only now starting to see what's happening.
I want to push back on that, because the point is more than that. It's more than that. It's not just that you cannot know everything. Is that you should be doubting your own rationality if there are only natural processes.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
I agree. We don't disagree there. I constantly doubt my reality. That's why.
No.
Keep going.
Not reality. Rationality.
Rationality. Agreed.
But that's a big problem, because if you can't trust your own rationality, then everything else falls apart.
Is there not a difference between questioning it and not trusting it?
Well, don't you
trust myself to make the best decision based on the best knowledge I have at the time, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to question it.
Yes,
and if I learn something better, then I'm going to change that.
But that's the point. You can question things that you believe because you might not believe exactly the truth. But if you can't even trust the processes that you're using to question things, that just everything breaks down. Don't you like the point?
But
The
that
point,
might
yeah.
be true.
That might be where I disagree.
That
Why can't I
might-
trust the processes I use?
And,
Sorry.
But then-
and what if that's true?
Yeah, and that's where that's where everything breaks down. It's like a self-defeating loop.
What if that's true though?
Yeah, but that's the point. What if that's true? Then you have good reason to doubt that it is true. So
Right.
I'll let you, yeah, because why? Because
So what's wrong with that though? What is wrong with believing that our minds aren't perfect? What's wrong with believing that we don't know everything in terms of truth? What if
that's
if
not the point.
Does that make you feel bad? Is that why you want to believe?
No,
that,
that's
like,
not the point. That's not the point. The point is that your own rationality, the processes that you use to come to any belief of the truth, if they're only natural processes to that come to that belief, you cannot trust it. So I understand your point that you're saying that you might not know everything. So is that only what you feel is good? But that's not the point. The point is that you have to have logic. Like, well, let's say you use logic, right? You use logic to believe that something is true or not. But if you can't even trust that logic is rational because it comes from natural processes, then everything breaks down.
But I still think this is where we disagree a little bit, because
Yeah.
the only thing that we can trust is the logic that we have, and as long as we continue to question it and challenge it and push it and grow it.
But you're questioning with using logic. You're questioning things using logic.
How else would you do it?
Exactly, that's the point. If logic is not something you can trust in, then everything breaks down.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you feel that as humans, we know the truth? And let me like finish the sentence here, because I realize that could sound like an end of a sentence. That as humans, we know the truth. And the only reason that we know the truth is only explained by a God, where I would say that I say as humans, we don't know the truth. And where do you fall in that?
Well, I'd say like you that we might not know exactly the truth, and that is quite clear that we don't know the exact truth of things, because there might be just too complicated for us to understand at their completeness. So there might be things that there might be part of the truth that we can know, but we can't know everything about the truth. We're limited beings. But the point of my argument comes to your faculties, your rationality, the logic that you use. If your own logic, your own rationality, you can't even trust in that, then everything breaks down. You can't know if when you question something, it might come closer to the truth. You can't know anything about that, because
what if we
you
don't?
Can't trust it.
What if you can't?
But that's the point. That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I have you define?
Yeah.
Because you continually say everything breaks down.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that if you cannot trust your own ability to reason and the logic that you use to come to the truth, then there isn't anything that you can do to come closer to the truth. You can't even trust that you're going towards the truth. You can't even trust that you're going towards something that's more closer to the truth. You might be experiencing an optical illusion in an analogous way, that you experience it when you see things with your eyes that are flawed. You see? So if only natural processes make you think what you think, these natural processes are not going towards the truth. They're going towards survival.
So what? So okay. Let's assume that. Let's assume you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play this out.
Yeah.
So let's assume there's two worlds. Okay. There's the current world that we live in, where there's a God, I assume, and that the way that humans know that there's truth is because of the God. I assume that's where you're going a little bit. Like, we haven't got there yet, but I'm just painting with broad strokes.
Okay. Yeah.
And let's pretend like there's another world where there is no God, And the only way that people can feel their way through the understanding of reality is through their senses. What do you think happens to the world where people feel their way through it with their senses versus the world where God has put in their minds the truth? What is the difference between the two worlds in like big picture?
Well, first, I'm not sure that I follow you about what God puts the truth in your mind. I'm not sure I understand
Well,
I'm
that.
trying to understand
I
because
think
you
we've
haven't
just
got there yet.
had the
Yeah.
same question the whole time about what you mean between truth and naturalism and God. And like we're agreeing on a lot of things about, yeah, you can't necessarily trust all of your instincts, but that doesn't mean you can't question things. That doesn't mean you can't learn things. But we just keep coming back to this point where we're not agreeing on like why we can't define truth and what would be better than what we have.
Well,
to work with.
I think that we can define truth, and I think that we can come to the truth or closer to the truth. But what I'm saying is that if you adopt a naturalistic point of view, and that there isn't anything else than naturalistic processes to your rationality, then you can't trust that this this worldview comes to a coherent and meaningful idea of the truth. So that would be my position, and I'm not sure that we're getting each other at that point. And so
No,
yeah.
I think you've done a great job. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like I think what we're debating is something
Or even
that
just discussing. I'm not
discussing.
necessarily
Yeah.
opposed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it. I'm just
Yeah.
I think what we're discussing.
I'm thinking rapidly.
Yeah.
I think what we're discussing is something that is the root cause of a lot of atheist versus theist, like
Core beliefs.
core beliefs.
Mm.
I think we're hitting at, which is the most interesting thing to me. It might be boring to some people because like you can like pick apart like certain like things of the Bible or whatever, or the Quran or whatever. But what we're talking about is the root of like, why do we even need a God? Like what is this? Like, why are we inserting God into this like picture?
Yeah.
Why are we making things more complicated or less complicated with a God? And so
maybe that's what I was
trying
to.
I think this is a fantastic conversation. I don't know necessarily where we leave it.
Oh,
but
I think it's fantastic.
Nathan's been very patient.
Let me answer you. I think I've understood more about what you're saying. What I would say is that my argument is part of multiple arguments that I could tell you that points me towards the fact that the natural world is not the only thing there is. And to me, then it opens the possibility for the existence of the soul, or something that is me, that is more than just my brain. Okay. And then from that, I expand my worldview to make sense of what would be more logical, or why would there be more to the world than just natural processes. If there is such a thing as the soul or a spiritual realm, okay, if there's such a thing as more than just the natural world in which we live in, then we can ask question about that. Why is there a soul? Why am I more than just my brain? And I think that by asking these questions, we can come to the conclusion that a God might exist, but that would be more arguments that have to prove that or come towards that conclusion. You have to argue more towards that.
Yeah. Let's definitely pick up there. I do have to like I've got to pop out to the restroom.
You gotta go potty.
Yeah. But okay, let's definitely.
I want to
please come back.
Finalize this maybe for a second.
And I will come back. I want this to be a long-term discussion if you want, because
absolutely.
I think it's absolutely fantastically.
And I hope you received my email as well today.
I did receive your email, and I want us to continue to talk, because this is so important to me and it's so interesting, and I'd love to go deeper into how I think and how you guys think. because this is, like I said, this is just the beginning
if
of
this
my
is what we're basing everything on, it matters. We should be talking about
and,
it.
and like I said at the beginning of our conversation, this is where I start. The reason why I have my openness to God in the first place is the idea that there is more to the world than natural processes. That is the first basis of why I even start to have the idea that God might exist. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the basis.
I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a God of the gaps.
No, it's not a God of the gaps, because the point is that if you can open your mind to the idea that there might be more to the world than only the natural world, then you can begin to ask questions about this spiritual realm. What is it? Is it a God? Is it multiple gods?
But what if it is only that?
Sorry?
But what if it is only just what we know, this world around us?
Yeah, but don't you see that I brought an argument why I believe it's not the case.
Right. So this whole conversation was, you don't think it can be just that.
Exactly.
But my challenge would be, what if I do think it could be just that?
And my challenge would be,
and that's why I think it's fascinating, because
and my challenge would be, think about the evolutionary argument against naturalism, because if you say that there only is the natural world, you're self-defeating your own rationality, and you have reason to doubt that the capacities that you used to reason that they're only natural, that the world is only natural, that it's not even something that you can know if it's true or not. And even more than that, you should doubt that it's true. So I want you guys to read a bit about the evolutionary argument against naturalism.
Yeah.
And we definitely will. We can talk about that later, but there is more arguments than this one to the same type of subject, about the idea that our mind cannot be only natural. And to me, that these are strong arguments to believe that there is more to the picture of the world than only the natural world. And like I said, Adele, this is the basis to my openness to the idea of a God. So you have your idea. You can say, oh, but I think that there's only the natural world. But I would argue against that.
I wasn't trying. Sorry, I wasn't trying to completely say that's my stance. I'm
not saying that too.
I'm
not saying that too. I'm only responding to that point. What if it's just natural? I would say then you would have to argue. You'd have to argue that what I'm saying is wrong, or there's a problem with it. And I would be interested, maybe, if we can go to further arguments also that come to the idea that the mind cannot be only natural processes. Okay, so maybe next time that can be something interesting to talk about.
I mean, that's a little bit of a new conversation point for us. So
let's definitely pick that up. And honestly, thank you again so much, Max. I'm so glad you joined us.
I'm glad you came back.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're following. Amazing. Thank you so much. I
can't wait to talk with you again.
Also, what time is it where you are?
To me, it's midnight.
Okay, that's not horrible on a Friday.
Oh, it's about the same time for us. It's like it's 11 p.m. 11
p.m. So I'm 1 hour further than you.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. And we're night owls, so it's cool.
I'm a night owl too. I have my son sleeping right next to me, so
I love it. By the way, I love that. Thank you so much. I love that. All right, well, have a great
He's
night.
just shifting around there right next to me. So,
your voice is soothing.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, I know. I've been told my voice is pretty soothing.
It is. It's lovely.
But I can't wait. We need to continue our discussion long term, because this is amazing.
Emailing in the meantime.
I will keep emailing and keep coming back on your show. I think we should talk about these subjects. It's so interesting, and maybe we can influence each other in one way or another. Maybe I can become an atheist, or maybe you can come back to Christianity.
Well, if nothing else, the viewers, they get all this information as well, and they can make their own decisions too.
And
I think that's half the reason we do this.
That's what's important.
Just to present
that's what's important.
All of this discourse.
That's what's important.
And people can
make
kind of
decisions.
Absolutely,
what
absolutely,
resonates with them and look more into that.
absolutely. I think that's the most
And
important.
I think that's important
Yeah.
because to your
Yeah.
point, this whole conversation for this past hour, I think the most important thing is to seek the
The
truest thing
truth.
we
Seek
can
the
find.
truth.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
should
Truth.
seek the truth. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's so refreshing because we should all be seeking the truth. And oftentimes we assume that Christians are not seeking the truth or that atheists are not seeking the truth. They're stuck
Agreed.
in their
They're
own belief
stuck
or
in
something
whatever their
like.
belief system
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
And
But
that's not to say that that doesn't happen, but I just don't think
sure,
that we need to
but
broad brush it.
and I want to say that I commend you guys to have an openness of mind to think about these ideas without assuming that there absolutely is no God. And I want to say to you honestly that I don't want to assume also that there is a God. I actually really want to come to the truth, and I think
I believe you.
I really believe that I have real reasons to believe that God is real, and it's not just dogma in my mind.
Well,
So
if you
yeah,
didn't, you wouldn't be here. So
yeah. So
that's why
that's
I'm
true.
fascinated.
Yeah.
But we
So
do
I'm
have
yeah.
another caller in the box who's been patiently waiting.
Oh
So
well, I don't want to take all the time, so I wish you the best, and
no, thank you so much.
We'll
I'm
talk
sure
to
we'll
you more.
talk again soon.
Amazing.
And if
See
you
you
want to
again.
pop in the chat, I'm monitoring the
I
chat
will.
too.
I
So
will.
if you're up, feel free to
Until
stick
next
around.
time. Until
All
next
right.
time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Good to
Max.
see you.
Goodbye.
Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Good.
Love Max.
Big W.
Yeah,
For
Max is awesome. I love those conversations. By the way, that thing about discussing consciousness at parties, Adele can attest.
Do you want me to?
Tell them what you've heard. I mean, maybe you weren't. I try to have these conversations on the side.
I just know you've done it, and then people are
annoyed. So now that
we lose people
this
from our
is why we're
parties.
doing this though, because there are folks out there that like to discuss the deeper questions of life, and if I can't find them at a party, we can find them online. So.
They're interested in a party until they're not. They're like, yeah, I'm here to enjoy myself, not to hear the story of Inky Doo.
Okay. I think that the story of Inky Doo is amazing. Anyways, all right. So we do have another caller in the box here, and then another one after that. But Christians, if there are other Christians as well, or non-Christians too, we're open to folks. This is trying to debate like why people believe. H, you are up next. So you've been waiting, and we appreciate that. So
and I think we've missed you on at least one recent stream because conversations and timing. So thank you for coming back, and thank you for waiting.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and bring you up, H.
Make sure you bring him above.
I brought him above. H, are you there? Can you hear us? We might have lost.
Hopefully
H
he didn't fall asleep.
Oh dang! Because he was in the box for a while.
Give him a second. Maybe he's like muted and has to adjust some technology.
But we do have you. Oh, and H just dropped.
Oh, no.
Darn it! And then the other caller just dropped as well.
Darn it! H was such a.
The good news is what that means for anybody who isn't.
H is back.
Oh, back.
See,
H,
I bet
you
the
there?
technology went to sleep or something.
Hey, H, are you there, buddy?
Yes, let me get my headphones to work.
Oh, right on. Awesome.
I was going to say, we need to give him a minute because he waited patiently for a long time.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Did you get to hear? Oh, we'll wait till
verify. Give him a second
until
he's ready.
No, they're working.
Cool. You sound perfect. Did you get a chance to hear much of the last conversation? Because I know that you're like philosophical in nature, so I'm kind of interested in what your thoughts are regarding that kind of conversation. If you heard some of it about like
naturalism
and what we can perceive and that sort of thing. Like, what's your take on that?
I have not intensely investigated Plantinga's evolutionary argument against naturalism. It's a well-respected argument. It's not like a whether or not you believe it to succeed. It's not like a crap argument. It's like it's a very real argument. And basically, to my understanding, the idea behind it is that what it purports to show is that evolution and naturalism don't seem to to go together, in the sense that, or that, like, how do I phrase it? That maybe that's not the right way to put it, but that our thought processes can't be
like trusted, essentially.
That we believing evolution and philosophical naturalism is kind of not right to go together. And the reason behind it, I think what he says is like evolutionary processes are directed towards survival and we can and behavior rather than belief. So he posits, for example, like proto-hominid sees tiger.
Okay.
Proto-hominid runs away. Well, the evolutionary process would be indifferent to him running away on the basis of tiger is scary or tiger is friendly and I'm running away from him because I want to chase me like a game. You understand?
Oh.
And so the idea is, because natural selection would direct towards certain behaviors that could be neutral with respect to the underlying beliefs, it's therefore, it causes a question about the reliability of your beliefs if you believe in naturalism and evolution. I think that's, I would obviously, to the extent that's contradictory, I'd go with what he says.
And I didn't articulate it well enough, I don't feel like, with Max, like, but like, that's where I feel like these ancient gods came from in the first place. It's like we're out here on the freaking plains of Mesopotamia and a big thunderstorm comes up and you're like, whoa, thunderstorm's scary. What's causing thunderstorm?
Sure.
Thunderstorm God.
Right,
And it's
God,
like
God sort of thing.
all of a sudden you've got Yahweh or Baal or Thor or whoever, like whatever storm god you're calling up. And that's the thing to me where it's like a lot of these like ancient deities were to explain natural phenomena, whereas now we don't necessarily need those because we have a scientific explanation, which is why it's interesting to me that, in fact, I believe that we wouldn't even have a God concept had we not outran ourselves. So, for example, in, Zoroastrianism was probably one of the first where they had this concept of like an all-powerful, all-knowing deity or power, essentially. And then, of course, with Hinduism, you had like Brahman, which is the everything, this big god concept, right? And then Judaism, they ditched the Canaanite pantheon of the Ugaritic texts and say, Yahweh's it, right? During the Babylonian exile, and you get this big god concept. And had we not gotten to that big god concept before science started to explain, and when I say science, I'm not talking in the modern terms, I'm talking about like observable science, just even back with like Copernicus and like, we're like, oh, actually the earth isn't, the center of the universe and the center of the solar system, where you're like, oh, now I get it. Lightning's actually hot and that's what makes thunder. Like we wouldn't even, like, we would be like, oh, well then we don't need this silly god of thunder anymore, and we would have waved it all away. But because this big god concept emerged from the pantheon, now we're stuck in 2026 trying to say that there's a magic, sky daddy that's like orchestrating everything. I'm interested in your thoughts on that.
I mean, I think that's wrong, obviously. I think that you are right that a lot of the polytheistic traditions, those deities emerged out of an attempt to explain natural phenomena. But philosophical monotheism or classical theism is based off of philosophical argumentation that the existence of the world is impossible without what like the philosophers would call God, and that this is a totally different in kind from Zeus or Brahmin, or I don't know all of the Thor or whatever. Totally different in kind. That the God of classical theism, the God of Christianity, is a completely different concept, and it's So I obviously I don't agree with that analysis.
So, if I remember correctly, you are a Christian, correct? Like you believe that the Yahwistic God is true. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, why did you pick the Christian God over other gods?
Well, it's a complicated question. It's multi-layered,
and that's what we're here for. We got time. This is your platform.
There are multiple reasons. I think that, as I intimated earlier, philosophical arguments for the existence of God.
And we'll grant you God exists. Why Yahweh?
I think, once again, there are many reasons. I do think that the claims of Jesus, like claims of Christianity in particular, I think are credible. And I think that the resurrection, as like a centerpiece of this, is in particular credible. And I think that the best explanation of the historical data is that he did rise from the dead. And I think that if he did rise from the dead, I think Christianity is true.
So your cornerstone
is the resurrection.
Is that there was a man? Now, was he a man, or was it so? Do you believe that he was a true like flesh and blood man, or that he was like a God looking like a man?
True man and true God.
Okay, so he was true man, true God. He died on the cross, and then he rose up from the dead.
Right.
And that is why you believe in the Christian God.
One of the reasons.
What is another reason?
I mean, there are lots of reasons, and I'm happy they like.
This is your platform. There
credible
are
miracle claims.
And here's the thing: like, we don't have to have them list everything off.
Oh yeah.
When you want to delve
I'm just
into that, could be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that there are credible miracle claims in the Christian tradition, and I think that, there are several reasons, but I think that actually, that's interestingly, I think the resurrection is maybe where we had left off last time I called.
I think so too. I was just thinking that like we had just started to touch on it, and then we didn't.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Get very deep.
So what is your most so I think the resurrection's a little wishy-washy. I'm like, the four gospels don't really agree on any of the detail. Let me actually list my reasons, and then you can address any of them, and we can address all of them if you want. But I would say the gospels can't get the story straight. Paul disagrees with the Gospels on how Jesus resurrected. There's a whole church father tradition of, was he actually a man? Was he actually just a God? And they got into an argument for 300 years, and eventually they agreed on what exactly you recited, because I'm sure you read what they ultimately determined. It seems like you're falling in line with the creeds, which is fine, but it's like, do you know the history of how these things came to be? Because it was pretty messy. And then it's like, well, no, here's what we're agreeing to in the Roman Empire after, everything. It just seems not very, it's messy.
Well, I think maybe then a good place to begin would be with, I think that most people would agree that there are certain things about Jesus that we probably can know with high degree of probability. And I think it's good to maybe look at those facts and look at things that even critical scholars agree about Jesus's life, because they're well attested and there's good evidence for them. And then see what the best explanation for those facts is.
Now, are you talking about the fact that Jesus was a man and existed, or the fact that he was crucified, or the fact that he resurrected? Like, which part of that? I just want to make sure I know where my head's at when we start diving into your talking points.
I think that there are multiple facts about Jesus's life and the events following his death that I think even critical scholars would admit have a high degree of likelihood or are nearly certain to have occurred based off of the historical evidence.
That he was crucified?
That would be one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Josephus says that, with the brother James comment, I think that there's part of that was a forgery. But I would agree. Jesus was crucified, but what's the evidence that he resurrected?
Well, we have very good evidence, I think, to believe that he was buried and that tomb was found empty. I think we have very good reason.
Because it was a temporary tomb, if we believe the Joseph of Arimathea story, and they probably just moved him before Mary and clan, depending on which gospel you read, which, by the way, I'd love to go through the actually, let me ask you a question. Who discovered the tomb?
What do you mean?
Tomb. Yeah.
Which human in the universe discovered the empty tomb of Jesus Christ, not of Latter-day Saints?
Okay.
I guess I feel like that's getting a little bit far afield, because one thing I don't want to go into
not,
is
actually, it's very poignant. Who discovered the empty tomb?
If you permit just a brief exposition. What I don't want to do is I think that if you go into
you don't want to get into the contradictions. I get it.
Let him finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that I don't think, even if you think that there are contradictions in the accounts, that doesn't necessarily mean that the text, that there's nothing of historical value within. That's kind of what I'm trying to say, and that's why I think that it's sensible.
Granted,
to look at
we grant you that.
It's sensible to look at the data that even the critical scholars who don't believe in Christianity would agree to.
So,
right. Which would include
who discovered the tomb, or does it just not matter?
Well,
how much of the Gospels should we believe? Let me ask that question. Because what you're telling me is every single one of the Gospels believe, for the viewers, what H is saying, failing to answer, is that every single one of the Gospels disagree on which individual human in the entire universe discovered the empty tomb. They could not get it right because it wasn't God-breathed. And because of that, we can't believe which actual human in the universe discovered the tomb. So then how much of the Gospels should we believe if we shouldn't believe that part? That's my question. Should we believe 90%, 100%? Should we believe all of it just allegorically or just conceptually? That's my question. Sorry, I'm trying to pin you down because you're a little loosey-goose sometimes when we talk. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just saying you're a little flowy. Which I'm a salesperson, so I get it.
My point is that, and admittedly I don't have a ton of time.
That's fine.
To talk, but my point is that given the limited time, I don't want to sidetrack necessarily. I think that, I know that the Gospels mention Mary Magdalene, some mention the other Mary. I believe one of them mentions Joanna. Nobody's going to deny that the various accounts recount certain things in a different way. But my point is, I think that it's helpful to look at what are the facts that we know, even if you think the Gospels are not reliable. Generally, that doesn't mean that we know nothing necessarily about the facts around Jesus's resurrection. And I think that, the overwhelming majority of even critical scholars will admit that Jesus died, that people believed they saw him alive after his death, that Paul converted, that James converted. These were very early beliefs, and a majority of them will also believe that he was buried in a tomb and that tomb was found empty. And that's from various sources, and that's from people who, like you, guys, it seems that you don't think that the Gospels are necessarily ipso facto reliable. Nonetheless, these are facts that have a high degree of probability, and I think then the question is, what's the best explanation for those facts?
Why do you say they have a high degree of probability when they all contradict?
And where do the facts come from, if not from the Gospels that are already contradicting each other?
So a lot of it has to do, I would say, with like independent attestation, right? So, for example, the appearance to Peter is attested by Luke and it's attested by Paul. The appearance to the 12 is attested by Luke and it's attested by John and it's attested by Paul. The appearance to the women is attested by Matthew and it's attested by John. And even if you think that you look at these certain specifics and you say, well, hey, maybe you think that the details are different, which is obviously a matter of debate. I'm not saying that I don't know all the specifics, but like that doesn't mean, like, for example, if we were to interview two guys who were storming the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, and they provided certain details that were different, but if they independently attested to the same event on that day, just because they had certain details different, we would consider that to be, evidence. And so my point is that we have independent attestation from these in the various gospels. And even if you think that some of the details don't line up, that doesn't change the fact that we'd have independent attestation of what's clearly the same event, which gives credence to the fact that that event happened.
So you believe that Joseph Smith got the 12 tablets and that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true, because using the same exact logic that you just told me?
No, because the testimony of the 3 witnesses and the testimony of the 8 witnesses, I believe, are not of the same level of credibility or independence as the ones that I just elucidated.
What's the difference?
Well, for one, multiple of those guys, I think, they all left the church, I think.
No, they didn't.
At some point,
No,
they
that's
did.
false. Go ahead with your next point. I know a lot about the Mormon Church. Go ahead with your next point.
I encourage you to fact check me on it, but okay. I know that some left and some came back.
So do we know how many of the okay? Let's
hold on. Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Finish your other points and then let's.
Sorry. I'm going to jump all over this Mormonism stuff.
Unless that was like your main point, and then we can go into it. But
I think that
cut him off too prematurely.
I think that the Mormon thing is sufficiently disanalogous. I think that the testimony of them seeing things with their spiritual eyes, but also I think that it doesn't also like address the question of how do we.
I don't think any attestation from any faith can be disanalogous when you're using that as proof for your point right now.
No. Let me be clear. Fair enough. What I mean is that
go ahead.
The nature of the claims, or the credibility of the claims, or the diversity of the claims is not analogous. The fact that they are claims is obviously analogous, but the nature of the claims. And so
what are the nature of the gospel claims and how are they different? Sorry, I just want you to clarify.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pin you down.
How do we test that?
What do you mean? How do we test it?
Well, how do you know that the nature of the claims in the gospels are better than the nature of the claims in the Book of Mormon?
Well, I think that the cumulative evidence for the reliability of the resurrection is better than the cumulative evidence for the reliability of the claims found in the Book of Mormon.
How? What is the cumulative evidence?
That is a mouthful.
You can't
say that word too many times.
This is how H wins. And unfortunately not with people like me, because I also have the gift of gab. I just don't have the vocabulary, but I have the same gift. I just grew up in Nebraska. So so how is the cumulative evidence of the Book of Mormon's witnesses different than the cumulative evidence of the 2,000 years old testimony of Paul and Mark and company? What is the difference other than the fact that the Book of Mormon was way more recent and that those I'm gonna try not to curse, people were literate and could write as eyewitnesses, versus the fact that you had people not writing in Aramaic that would have been with Jesus. You have a second generation writing in Greek, telling stories that their dad told them 40 years later. I'm 45. It's like if my dad told me a story and I'm like, cool, I got you. I can type. I got you. And then I write a story about Jesus. How is the testimony cumulatively different between the Book of Mormon and the Gospels? Better,
different, preferable.
Right. And so this is kind of the reason why I was taking the approach of trying to narrow it down to the evidence that even the critical scholars accept. And what I was trying to do is to kind of give you, like, for example, why the vast majority of even atheistic scholars who look into this, who research this, who it's their job to research this, agree that the disciples at least believed that they saw him alive after his death.
Totally agree.
It is for all of those reasons. And that's one piece of the evidence. The other pieces of the evidence.
That's not a piece of evidence. Let's stop there. Can we talk about that one before you rush past it?
Okay.
Do you think that let me make sure I get his name correct, because I don't want to blaspheme him. Do you believe that what was that guy's name? I got this. Hold on. The Heaven's Gate.
Marshall Applewhite.
Yes. Do you believe that Marshall Applewhite believed what he was saying was true? Do you believe
I don't know.
that he
That's
thought he had
question.
a revelation from God?
That's an interesting question. And it's a fair point that the mere fact that somebody believed something is not proof that what they believed is true.
I have another question. No. I'm going to ask this question, and then I'll let him talk as long as he wants. Do you believe that David Koresh,
I was just going to say that,
believed what he was talking about and what he was preaching to his people?
I don't know enough about the Branch Davidians, honestly. Maybe.
I can talk a long time about it, but I can tell you yes.
I mean, the point is, you would like to say yes, because otherwise you wouldn't have this whole situation.
I don't understand what you mean. But
what I mean is this.
How would you create an entire cult situation if you didn't believe what you were saying?
Oh,
either you're
lying for power,
and you're really good at sales.
That would be like the Children of God cult.
But either way,
the Children of God cult.
I don't think those just prove each other innately. Like
the Children of God.
How do you prove that this one truly believed and this one was just lying to fool?
Sure, fair enough.
That's all. That's all I was trying to say.
Right, and so my point is, like I said, the idea is looking at the pieces of evidence that even the critical scholars accept. How do we explain that evidence? And I think that...
What's the evidence that you're referring to?
So it includes, or let's say the facts. Let's say
what are the facts?
The facts include that Jesus was crucified, that his followers believed that they saw him alive after their death, and that includes independent, multiple, sometimes individuals, sometimes groups of people.
Stop there. And this is where I am going to stop you when you start rambling past points.
Okay.
They didn't say that they saw him in the flesh. Now, the narratives that were written 40 years later said yes. Just like my dad would tell me, oh yeah, and then he showed up and he said, put your finger in my holes. And notice how, and this is where I'm a little bit annoyed by talking with you, because I don't know that you're being completely honest, because I feel like you know enough about this content, according to the scholarship, critical and theological, that you know the order that these freaking gospels were written. And this is where I get a little annoyed, because I think you know a lot, but I feel like you don't reveal everything you know in a strategy. So, for example, the evolution between the Gospel of Mark and then Matthew and Luke and then John is clearly showing what the church at that time was trying to get to in terms of theological concept. Like, for example, there was no docetism and concept about whether or not Jesus had to be a real human. When Mark first wrote his gospel, that wasn't an issue. But when you get to the point where Jesus had to I drank some wine, I ate some fish, just so you know that I'm an actual human, that was to prove to the people of that time, decades later, that Jesus was a real human, because the issue at the time was, well, he was actually God and he wasn't really human, so he didn't really feel everything. So tell me that you're either A, hiding something, or maybe you're ignorant of this. And it could be something that maybe needs to be researched. but like, you see the evolution of this or not? Or am I like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you see the evolution of how these stories evolved?
They don't just not match. They literally
They
have a
evolve
path
for a reason that we can see in
that you can
historical
tell is
context.
purposeful.
So I hear your point. I understand your point. I think it's obvious to me that the different authors of the Gospels may have had, different
Motivations.
purpose.
Let's call it motivations.
Yeah, purpose, motivation.
Yeah, I mean, I'll use the words that I want to use with all due respect. Different, theological purposes or things that that they were using when they, not to say that it's false, but just that certain emphases, what may have been different in between the various gospels. The point, though, once again, I mean, if I do kind of what I was started with was this idea of looking at the things that even the skeptical scholars accept,
But we keep getting stuck at evidence because your evidence.
And so is the reason that it's like 40 years, that's too long, or?
Well, there is something to be said that you have to take accounts to try to fact check them based on a series of criteria. So it's one, how close in time were they to the event?
Right. How consistent are they with each other? What possible motivations might they have had?
Or motivation did they have based on what they were writing?
Right.
Like, I think you know where I'm getting.
Yes,
like Bart Ehrman talks about this all the time. When he's trying to prove, because he believes that Jesus was a historical person, and he talks about that all the time.
That's maybe I'm not. My point is that even the people who are not Christians, the people who approach it understanding that there might be bias, understanding that they're who have similar attitudes towards the Bible as you might, even those scholars accept these certain facts because they agree that even
they don't accept the resurrection.
Well, they might not accept the Christian explanation for the facts. Sure.
No, they don't accept the resurrection.
That's what I mean. Right.
There's a lot of explanations
because dead people stay dead, and there's no proof that Jesus didn't. Now, there's tons of other dying and rising gods. Do we want to just start? Do you want to disprove Attis? Do you want to disprove like we can go through the list? I would love to hear your disproving of all the other dying and rising people, not even gods, men. Nero rose the frickin' Parthian army, and 35,000 of them died for the resurrected Nero. That's 35,000 martyrs. Do you believe that Nero rose from the dead? This is absurd.
No, I don't believe that.
Why don't you believe it? Why don't you believe it?
I don't. The evidence that I've looked at.
The evidence is that 35,000 troops, according to multiple sources, died in a war to siege Rome based off of the fact that Nero rose from the dead and raised an army. What don't you believe and why? And please speak plainly. Why don't you believe it?
Mm-hmm. Right. So when I've looked into the Nero Redivivus, is what I think it's called, story.
It's the Redivivus. But continue.
Don't be an asshole.
Sorry, I'm a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm calling him out.
She's calling me out.
You don't have to be a prick to make your point.
No, I mean, it's
my bad. That's my bad.
He's fired up. I get it. He doesn't not have good points, but he needs to chill.
But H, this is why I do this because it's the whole iron sharpens iron thing. If you get me fired up, you're my favorite person because you know what I mean? Hopefully, I don't know. It's that energy thing. I appreciate you, and you're bringing good points. That's why I'm getting fired up. You're doing a great job, in my opinion. I apologize for getting fired up.
Mm-hmm.
Better.
I hear what you're saying. I don't believe that it is. I think that the evidence is not especially strong for Nero. To my understanding, it's not correct that the belief was that Nero rose from the dead in a bodily form, but instead that there were imposters that
But there's a
faked
lot of theories
being.
that the same thing happened with Jesus.
In fact, the Gospel of Thomas says that, well, not the Gospel of Thomas, technically.
And I'm not trying to completely cut you off.
Right. It does say that Jesus's brother Thomas looked a lot like Jesus, and therefore, what if they just mistook him at the marketplace for his brother?
Well, it would be kind of weird for James to mistake Jesus.
Not James, dude. He had multiple brothers. Are you kidding me? Thomas.
Well, James. Yeah,
James is one of the brothers of Jesus.
What I'm saying is that James was converted, right? And
so it says that James was James. So what? So let's go back. Okay, actually, continue down the path of this Nero thing, because I didn't want to cut you off there.
The lack of proof.
Right. Why you don't believe that 35,000 people died for a cause where they just, it wasn't really Nero.
I didn't say that 35,000 people didn't die.
Fair.
Yeah. So, like, respectfully, that's not what I said.
I mean, lots of people died at Waco. Lots of people died. I mean, yeah, people die for causes all the time. That doesn't disprove or prove a leader, for lack of a better word.
Okay. Martyrdom doesn't prove truth.
Right.
Proves
so
belief.
He's acknowledged that. Continue.
Yeah. Right. And my point is that when I don't remember all of the facts off the top of my head, but when I looked into the Nero thing, it did not seem to me to be a good analogy for Jesus, as the claims were not similar, namely that the claims were not that he had risen from the dead in the way that the claims were that Jesus had risen from the dead. Instead, that was that there were certain imposters that came across who faked him. That seems plausible to me, that there were people who were imposters. But this idea that Nero died and then rose from the dead, I'm not even sure that's what even was strictly claimed. But the point that I was trying to make was that I think that if you look into the facts that I elucidated already with respect to Jesus' resurrection, that even the historical skeptics accept, I think that the best explanation for those facts is resurrection.
So because the Nero story doesn't parallel the Jesus story close enough, we discount the Nero story.
Yeah, I apologize if I'm not being clear. That's certainly a possibility. That's not what I said. That's certainly not what I meant to say. I'm meaning to say that I don't believe that there is sufficient evidence to support the belief that Nero was resurrected from the dead.
What is the sufficient evidence that Jesus resurrected from the dead?
I mean, I think you're arguing a little bit dishonestly that these are parallel stories, and that's
supposedly.
What do you mean that they're parallel stories?
It's the same thing. A bunch of people believed in him. He died. They didn't want him to die because that disproves everything they believed in. So one person says, I saw Nero, or I saw Jesus. He's alive. It's a miracle. And then they have something to believe in again, and they all rally for the cause.
Right,
How are the two stories different?
People with respect to Jesus.
I'm sorry, I missed the very first thing you said, and I don't want to miss your point.
With respect to the story surrounding Jesus specifically, we have multiple independent attestation of multiple individuals and groups of people seeing him alive, physically risen from the dead. And to preempt the Nero counterexample, it's my understanding
that five individual attestation. Do you agree? Do you agree or disagree with that?
For Jesus or for Nero?
Jesus.
I don't know the exact number.
Who said that there were witnesses of Jesus's resurrection? And I'll count them off in my hand as you go.
Yeah, I mean, so there's multiple. Let me think. I mean, Paul talks about it, and Paul recounts a creed that was delivered to him.
How many years later?
The creed was probably a few years later.
It's fine. Go ahead. Did Paul see Jesus resurrected in person?
Yeah, he saw the risen Jesus on during his conversion.
Did he see him in person?
No, he saw a vision. He saw a flash.
Yeah, he saw. Yeah, and he saw the glorified Jesus. And the exact details of that we
have
don't
you
know
ever been like? Okay, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
keep going. That's one. how many other attestations of Jesus were eyewitnesses? Because technically I'm going to give you that one, even though wasn't in the flesh. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, once again, I think that the question of eyewitnesses is moving the ball a little bit insofar as even if you don't
think
think
that's
that
a
they're
really hard question for you to answer.
Your evidence
H,
was that there was eyewitnesses for Jesus.
You're saying you got evidence, but then you're just dropping the ball, man. You're like you're twisting and turning here. It's a little.
If I could just, I understand you guys have a lot to say, but if I could, maybe just finish my point, and then if you want to respond, that's totally fine.
Go ahead.
My point is that I do think that we have reason to think that gospel accounts relate to eyewitness testimony. But my point is that that's a separate question ultimately from even the scholars who don't think the gospels are based on eyewitness testimony. Even they agree that we have good reason to think that those things happened. That's kind of my point.
Your evidence so far has been the eyewitness testimony.
And I disagree.
And you just said that the scholars say despite...
Who are the scholars?
That. Okay, regardless of that, then what is the thing that the scholars believe is the evidence?
You're like throwing pie in the sky things out there like, okay.
Can he answer my question?
Sorry.
Yeah, so the various independent attestations of the appearances of Jesus.
You just said it wasn't about eyewitness testimony.
What I'm saying is that even if you think, as many people do, that the Gospels are not based off of eyewitness testimony, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're unreliable.
Go ahead, I'm letting you run with this.
That's my point.
Make that make sense.
Well, perhaps I could give an analogy.
You just said I might think the Gospels are unreliable, but that doesn't mean they're not.
No. What I'm saying is the mere fact that.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that the fact that even if you think the Gospels are not based on eyewitness testimony, even if you think that, it doesn't mean that they're ipso facto unreliable.
But that just brings me back to the same point.
It doesn't mean that it's ipso facto reliable.
That just brings me back to the same point that any other scripture could be reliable as well or unreliable.
So should I believe in Simon Bar Kokhba?
What other evidence do scholars give besides testimony? Because every religion has testimony and every resurrection account has testimony.
Dude, are you so narrow-minded that you've never experienced the fact that what you're saying is true about every other belief system in the entire world for entire history, and you're using the same circular logic of every single one? You are not bringing a single new concept to the table.
Mm-hmm. I hear what you have to say. My point is that I agree that with all trying to suss out the historical facts of various things, it relies on historical testimony. And the point of me bringing up the critical scholars is to say that even people who are atheists agree.
And you keep saying that, but I'm asking you for another piece of evidence from any of these people, even who are atheists, besides eyewitness testimony, because we are not agreeing on that point. What other evidence?
All right, H, we have to tell you, our viewership has dropped significantly because you're not bringing an actual argument to the table. You have to either be honest.
Hold on, can you answer this question?
Yes.
Yeah, my point is that it is based off of the testimony of the Gospels. And
also Larry Spaghetti, we do see that you just popped into the call box, and we're
coming.
We're coming.
We're finishing.
H is going to make his.
He's going to give me another piece of evidence that doesn't have to do with eyewitness testimony.
H is going to give us a real thing. We're going to hear a real thing that people can understand, because H, if it's all in your head, you just live a happy life, my friend. Go ahead.
My point is that the basis on which these scholars believe in these facts is the available historical data, which includes, for example, the Gospels and the Pauline epistles. right? Regardless of whether or not you happen to believe that those were based off of eyewitness testimony. That's what I'm meaning to say.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you, H. We do appreciate you coming back.
I mean, like, I guess I
just feel like we've gone around and around and said the same thing, and you haven't offered us anything other than the point that we don't agree on.
If I might ask, maybe I'm not understanding you. Are you trying to say that you don't think that the Gospels? But my point is that are you just saying that you don't think that the Gospels count as evidence?
Correct. They contradict each other. The testimonies are unprovable. We don't even know who wrote them. They had no historical timeline to be even near the time that the resurrection should have happened. And you think that they're somehow more convincing than any of the other resurrection accounts from any other religion. And you can't offer me any other evidence than that.
You're basically just regurgitating.
I can agree that Jesus was a person. I can agree that Jesus was crucified. There is no solid evidence for a resurrection.
If you might entertain, why do you think you have good reason to think that Jesus was crucified?
Because people were crucified all the time during that time period, and because he was a blaster.
Well, why do you have reason to think that
H, you asked a question. I'm going to answer you.
And I was too. Go ahead.
Adele answered correctly, like according to what I would believe as well. And I would add that, yeah, if you were freaking...
And also, crucifixions were long and brutal. Like, he would have been on that cross, picked apart by birds for days. He would have been eaten by dogs.
It was like death row.
He wouldn't have been put in a tomb.
If you're an insurrectionist, of course you're getting crucified. And was Jesus an insurrectionist? Of course he was. It's logical. Because H, unlike your thing about people coming back from the dead, we believe in freaking logic. I don't know, man. H, I appreciate you being here, and you have been fantastic. We are going to bring up Larry Spaghetti, and thank you, though, for coming back. And if you do want to come back again, please do. But also, know that we do have a limited amount of patience for dodging. So, okay. I do appreciate H. I really do. He brings some interesting points to the table, but at a certain point, I do lose patience with dishonesty. Like, let's talk like humans. So we have Larry Spaghetti, and Larry.
We don't know anything about Larry. So far tonight, our callers have been
awesome. So yeah, Max was amazing. H was great. I love H. I have to, Larry, I'm doing this for you.
Take a second. Let's take a breathing exercise. We typically stay very calm.
We are very calm. And
I don't want to scare Larry away.
And to H's credit, perhaps H brought such good points to the table. It's just when I have to use all of my mental capacity to just try to understand what you even mean, it is a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating. Meanwhile, Adele brought what two people with earbuds are going to call a pain.
Okay, I don't have indigestion. The potato was unsettled. The potato dog is now with us. Everyone say hello to the potato.
Also, I'm going to be completely honest with the audience because honesty is the best policy when it comes to these things. But H did make me take more sips of my glass than I probably should have. So I'm going to level out now. But
with Larry Spaghetti, I'm so excited to meet someone new.
Larry, we are bringing you up. Here we go. Larry, are you over the age of 18 and can you hear us?
Yep, I'm age 40 and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, another 40-year-old.
And can we call you Larry, or do you prefer your full name of Larry Spaghetti?
Oh, Larry's fine.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Is your last? No, never mind. I'm not going to ask that. That's not fair to ask.
Larry, I love it. You know what? Like, people in their 40s, I feel like there should be some sort of a camaraderie. I'm 45, so I'm much more advanced in years.
Yeah, we got to stick together.
Yes, we got to stick together. There's a team here. Okay. So anyway, Larry, first of all, if we came across as hostile earlier, that is not typically our like modo operandum. We're typically very chill and like.
It was also our third conversation with women who we just can't get.
Our purpose is to understand the truth. And we were former Christians and we no longer believe in Christianity. So what we're trying to understand is, why do Christians still believe in Christianity? Is there a reason for us to believe in Christianity? Because if there is, we are willing to open our minds. So we'll open the floor to you as far as like what your thoughts are.
Well,
sure.
where do you want to start?
Or wherever you want to start.
Yeah. Why do we still believe? I wouldn't start with a biblical answer, because it's an argument from authority to which obviously, as an atheist, is not really going to work with you. But I would probably make a transcendental argument that says that if you are making any sort of knowledge claim, saying, why do we believe, then you're presupposing logic and reason. So I would push it back to you and say, if there is no God, then how can there be logic or reason?
So
because brains exist.
We both neither one of us think that there isn't a God. Maybe it's Allah. Maybe it's Vishnu. Maybe it's Brahman. Like,
don't speak for me. I'm not convinced by any God I've been presented with. That doesn't mean that there can't be something out there.
So she's going to take the tag argument. And
no, I'm not. I just wanted to say, don't put words in my mouth.
So you do believe there's a God. You're just not convinced that it's a Christian God.
We believe that there's the idea that there could be something we don't know about. Nothing that we've been presented with is convincing to us, because there's no evidence of any of the gods we've been presented with.
Right, but if you're not sure that a God exists, then how do you ground logic and reason?
Because we have brains.
Right, but logic and reason is immaterial. It exists outside of your mind.
How so?
Well,
how would I logically answer
a
question without using my brain?
Well, yeah, you're using your mind, not your brain. Like the laws of logic, for example, do those exist immaterially, or are they material?
No, I'm pretty sure my brain is what works my entire body.
Okay,
it's
so you're distinguishing the brain from the mind then? So like if you think of a pink elephant, does your brain rearrange material in your brain and you think that you see a pink elephant?
Yeah, I can imagine what a pink elephant would look like in my brain.
Right, in your mind, but you're saying that the only thing that you believe in is a material brain. So if you think of a pink elephant...
Where would my mind exist if I didn't have a brain to have an imagination?
Well, I believe that the mind is immaterial.
Picture a pink elephant.
Right. Well, I believe the mind is immaterial, so you would have to tell me what you think the mind is.
I think that it's something that my brain can imagine, because I'm capable of imagining things, just like I was when I was 6. And I imagined Santa.
But you're saying that you're imagining things, so is your brain purely material?
My brain itself is material. You could pull it out of my head and feel it.
Sure. But is the mind material? Like if you think of a pink elephant, is there material in your brain that rearranges itself so that you get the image of a pink elephant? Is that what you're saying?
Good question. I think imagination exists.
Right, but is it immaterial or is it material? That's the question.
I don't think that that's material.
Okay, so then you believe in immaterial realities like I do, like the laws of logic, right? The law of non-contradiction, or logic and reason, which are immaterial realities. So if there is no God, then provide a grounding for those.
Say that again.
If you believe in immaterial realities, like the laws of logic or reason and logic itself, so those are immaterial. You can't see them, you can't taste them, you can't, hold them. If they're not grounded in God, then you would have to ground them in something else. So what do you ground those in?
Why do I have to ground them in anything? They just are.
So you think that the law of non-contradiction just is? Right? Like the law of non-contradiction, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, would be, it can't be raining.
No, I've heard of the law of non-contradiction, but like, why do I have to assign something to my imagination? Like I can't have thoughts that I know aren't physical and a brain that I know is physical.
Because if the law of non-contradiction isn't immaterial, then what you're saying is that it can vary by person. So that would mean that it would make
Everything
speech,
varies by person.
Right. So it's immaterial, then it's independent of the mind. Because if it was mind
It's
dependent,
independent to the mind.
Well, it can't be mind dependent, right? Because then you could say that somebody in Africa, for example, doesn't understand the law of non-contradiction, so they could believe that it's raining and not raining at the same time. So we know that they're immaterial because if they weren't, you wouldn't be able to
a
communicate.
contradiction at the same time? I can tell if it's raining or not raining. I would not believe both. That's
right.
stupid.
But what I'm saying is there's immaterial laws that govern logic and allow us to communicate right now. One of those laws is the law of logic. We both understand contradictions, right? Or the law of non-contradiction. So we both understand that it can't be raining and not raining at the same time, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's an immaterial law. If we didn't understand that and we didn't understand the other laws of logic, we wouldn't be able to communicate. We'd be locked in our own minds.
But like, it's not really immaterial to know whether or not it's raining.
Right. Well, I mean, that goes back to the mind then. So is the mind just matter?
How does it go back to the mind when I can just physically tell if it's raining?
Well, again, you can physically tell that it's raining, but the question I'm asking is deeper than that. Is your mind interpreting that, or is your brain interpreting that?
My brain is interpreting that because I can sense that it's raining based on my vision, based on my feeling. Like if I go touch the rain, if I smell the rain, you can smell the rain.
But
my
would you
brain
understand
provides me the senses.
Would you understand that it's a contradiction that it can't be raining and not raining at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. And if
I
you
can't
didn't
be
understand
sleeping and not sleeping at the same time.
Right. But if you didn't understand contradictions, how would you communicate with other people?
What?
Well, these are the laws of logic, right? If like the laws of logic don't exist, then that means that you wouldn't logically be able to have something like language.
I don't actually even understand what you mean by that.
All right. Would you agree that language is a logical model? That we all have an understanding of what words mean?
That we have to assimilate what the words mean, decipher them, interpret each other, and communicate together?
Correct. Just that language is logical. Like I can't say a word and just make up a word,
yes,
right?
I
Like
agree
it
with
has to
that.
be logical. So again, it goes back to this is the laws of logic. You can look them up yourself, but it's just a philosophical idea that
let's just have the conversation. I don't need you to get all Phil, bro.
Oh, I'm not.
I conceded to your I agree that language is logical. What does that mean to me?
Well, your mind has to be able to interpret what logic actually is.
Yeah, because I have a brain, and my brain
Right,
knows
but
what words mean.
You're presupposing logic and reason.
No.
Okay, then where does it come from?
The logic of how to understand words comes from the organ in my head that stores the knowledge of the languages that I know. And if I were to study better and really learn other languages, I could know more than one.
Quite frankly, she actually was an English literature major, and I screwed up in the chat and used bad grammar. She would never use that bad grammar.
But where does logic come from?
God.
You're going in a circle. I logic things by thinking. I rationalize the world around me by using my learned experience, and all of that is stored in my database. I'm like a computer and it's all up here.
Yeah, but you're starting at the presupposition that you can use logic and reason. I'm asking you where that comes from.
Of course I can use logic and reason. I can have a conversation with you and I can understand what you're saying.
Right,
Therefore, I know that it exists, that I can logically understand the words you are saying.
Okay, but where does that come from?
My brain.
Okay, is your brain just material, or is it something else?
It's an organ in my head. If you cut it out, I could no longer have a conversation with you. Okay,
so then what you're saying is that your brain, like when I say something to you, it just rearranges matter, and that's logic?
It rearranges the things you are saying. It sends a transmittal to my head. I think about it. It happens super fast, and I hear what you're saying, and I think about it, and I respond to you.
It's kind of like Claude AI. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
I think we're
This
at an
is like
impasse
kind of the
here.
worst tag argument I've ever heard.
It's bad. Go ahead.
Well, I
though.
mean, you're
Continue.
welcome to critique it, but so you're basically just saying that logic and reason are just matter and motion in the mind or in the brain. There is no mind.
I mean, matter is also a physical thing, like atoms and matter, and the
Define
things that
mind.
make up the world are physical things.
Define matter, define motion, define mind.
Well, to me, matter is well, mind would be an immaterial thing, and matter would be material.
Why is mind immaterial, man?
Well,
that
because
goes back
then
to the
I think
whole,
that
like,
you'd
I
be
can
starting
imagine a
from
pink
a
elephant, but it doesn't
platitude that
exist.
when you're thinking of something, that your material brain is just rearranging things around. And again, I don't know how that.
So
how
right
that could
now,
actually...
I'm picturing you as a purple mermaid. Is that...
That's fun.
Is that material or immaterial?
I would argue it's immaterial.
I would say it's immaterial as well.
Okay. So is the mind material or immaterial?
So he's trying to differentiate the mind and the brain.
If you're defining mind as what your brain imagines or conceives of, and if your brain conceives of something that is a controlled or uncontrolled hallucination, I would agree with you that if in that definition mind is that, then it is immaterial.
Okay, so there are there immaterial realities or not?
No.
No. Just because my brain can think of something.
No, hold on.
Okay,
Define reality.
Go ahead.
You wanted to do this damn tag argument.
I didn't want to do anything.
Ugh.
Go ahead.
To be fair, I hate this argument. It's so annoying and it's just time consuming. But okay. Okay, let's have this conversation. So, define reality.
Reality to me is, are we talking about
what's
material
reality to everyone? And
well,
then what's reality
or
to
no?
you? You said to you, I need both to everyone, to you, to the universe, and to God. What are those 4 different versions of reality? If we're really having this conversation, let's go.
To me, there's 2. There's material reality, the things I can see, touch, taste, and feel, and then there's immaterial reality. So that would be things like the laws of logic, mathematical truths, the law of gravity. Can't see the law of gravity, but it exists, right? So that would be another immaterial reality.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to shift it back to you.
No, don't.
Okay. So do you deny that the law of gravity is an immaterial reality?
What do you mean?
Is the law of gravity, is it immaterial or is it material? And if it's material, show me where it's at. I want to see it.
You're trying to tell me that you can't see the effects of it?
You can see the effects of gravity, but you can't see the law of gravity.
But you can't feel the wind. It's like God, man.
Yeah, but you can feel the wind.
You can see the effects of God, though. Just God's like gravity, isn't it?
Well, I haven't made a God argument yet. I'm just saying, can you show me the law of gravity?
Oh my God, this is why I can't tag.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, back to it. Is the law of gravity, is it material or is it immaterial?
I don't know that. I'm not really sure how to respond to you because even if you're trying to present something that you think we can't find a material grounding of, but you're still talking about things that we can prove exist. Like, yes, I can't see gravity, but I can tell gravity exists. I can't see wind, but I can tell wind is there. Like, that's still material to me.
So you're saying that the law of gravity is material. Then where do I find it?
I mean, what do you mean by that?
It's not a trick question. I'm just trying to understand.
I feel like it kind of is, because like, what do you mean by, where can you find gravity? You don't think that you experience gravity constantly?
No, I do. I think that if I drop something right now, it's going to
But
drop.
I don't experience hallucinations constantly, and that was your first example. So, like, I don't understand.
What was my hallucination? I don't.
Well, you were talking,
remember.
or okay, hallucination or imagination or like picturing a pink elephant, right?
Right. I'm just saying that I believe in the mind.
I can't experience that, but I can experience gravity and I can experience.
Well, you can
wind,
experience a thought, right? A thought is to me.
No,
That's,
I wouldn't
the
consider
mind.
that an experience.
Okay, so like if you think of something like a thought in your mind, if you think of Paris, that's not an experience?
I wouldn't consider that an experience in the same way that I would consider knowing wind exists.
I understand, but like, I guess let's just get back to this. So you don't believe that the law of gravity is immaterial? Again, it's not a trick question. I'm just trying to understand if you believe that there are immaterial realities.
Immaterial realities.
That means they're not made of material, right? Like it's not like your desk in your room or a monitor. It's not made of matter.
That's why you get them back. You pin them back to the Bible.
Well, come back.
You done with that?
Yeah. I'm tagging him back in because I don't want to miss tagging him in.
I mean, consciousness would be another example of an immaterial reality. Like, are we conscious? Are we here right now?
Yes. Let's say there's a God, man.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if immaterial realities exist,
yes, they do.
Okay, then what's wrong with God being an immaterial?
He is
concept. Okay, he is.
Yes.
So if we go back to the transcendental argument,
yes, which is true.
Right. So if you make any sort of knowledge claim,
yes,
I don't know how you can make any knowledge claim unless you're presupposing reason and logic.
Yes.
Okay, then where do you ground those two things?
God.
Okay, but you said that you don't believe in God, right?
I do.
We don't. Oh.
I believe in God. I just don't believe in the Christian God.
Okay, so what God do you believe in?
I believe in Claude.
All right. So basically, you don't want to have a serious conversation then.
No, but I would want to move past the bullshit and get to the point that the Christian God is a fucking monster and absolutely untrue.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
No.
Let's stop there. So right now, you just made a moral claim. So where do you get morality from on an atheistic worldview?
The Christian God. You know, the Hindu God, not so bad.
Right, but where do you get moral right and wrong in an atheistic worldview?
The Yahweh is a fucking monster.
Okay, well, ground your morality for me.
I don't need a God to have morality. I can experience morality by...
Right, you can have subjective morality without God, but ground...
Yahweh is subjective.
All morality is subjective, and your morality is
subjective on Yahweh, which is a monster.
Is that objectively true?
No, it's subjective.
It's subjectively true based on what you're...
So it's subjectively true that morality is subjective?
Hold on. We're getting fired.
No, it's great. Actually, I love this.
It's subjectively true that morality is subjective?
You're objectively wrong that you're subjectively true.
It's all subjective. And your morality is subject to your God.
Okay, so if morality...
Does your God have a mind?
Hold on a second.
Does your God have a mind?
Let him ask this question.
If morality is subjective, right?
I don't think we should have let him ask that question, but go ahead.
If morality is subjective, then how can you make any sort of moral claim against God? Because, hold on, just let me finish it. If I were to say, well, no, I think God is great, right? That's my subjective interpretation of morality. Why am I wrong and you're right?
I don't think God is great because he condones rape and murder and slavery.
But that's your preference. My preference is I think he's great.
And your preference is that you do condone those?
Well, I'm just saying if my subjective interpretation is that I do condone those things, why am I wrong?
Because I know as a human that those things are horrific.
But that's your subjective interpretation. It's not objectively true.
So are yours. Are you going to try to defend those things to me?
In my worldview, I can ground objective morality.
And what? The God that condones the things I literally just said that you won't address?
Well, again, you would have to make an argument for if I believe something counter to what you believe, why I'm wrong and you're right. If morality is subjective,
wrong and right, there is what we experience that we think is better for people or not better for people.
Right, but you just said morality is subjective. So you can't even use the word better.
It's subject to your experience as a human and what you think you would want to happen and what you would want to happen to the people around you.
So are you the moral arbiter of the universe then?
No. I'm just living in the universe and trying to do the best that I can based on my experiences and the people around me.
So if I disagree with you, if I disagree with your like a morality claim that you make, what makes you right and me wrong? If you're not the moral arbiter of the universe.
I think that
so here would be the question. So does your God, and can we call your God Yahweh, or do you have some sort of other magical term for your God?
Here, I'll make it simple for you.
No, actually,
hold on.
Just to
I'm going to make it really simple for you.
Question. Okay, go ahead.
Let's just pretend right now that God doesn't exist, that Christianity is totally false. I would still say that Christianity is a better worldview than anything that you can posit.
I disagree.
Again, your morality is subjective, right?
Where do you get your morals from?
Because I say so. You have to be able to prove that wrong, right? If I just say, well,
no, because
I just think that Christianity is better, and I say so.
I can just drop you from this chat. So the thing is, it's human collective. You understand? Like human collective, if you have a bunch of people all together and they all agree that you shouldn't go around killing people because it's bad, that is a group philosophy because they realize that it's bad to do that. Now, my question that you haven't answered yet is, do you think that your God, that you won't say his name because you don't have one for him, because I don't even think you really know who he is, does he have a mind, or is he just some sort of all-encompassing spirit like in Hinduism, like Brahman? And you can call him Brahman if you want. Is he everything, or do you have an actual entity that you believe in?
Yeah, I'll answer that. But first, you mentioned that morality is the collective. So if tomorrow, collectively, we all decided to institute slavery, would that make it moral?
No.
Well, you just said that morality is the collective.
I think that's,
why wouldn't it be moral?
It did happen back in the day, and that's why Yahweh instituted it.
And
but you just said morality was collective.
Whoever wrote the book lived in the time where they wanted to own
slavery. Okay, slow down for a second. And Larry, slow down for a second. Let's talk for a second, Larry. Just for a second, you and me. Do you think that slavery is okay?
No, I don't.
Okay. And this is just you and me. Everything else aside. I also don't think that slavery is okay. Now, if you and I were to go back in a time machine into ancient Mesopotamia, where slavery was a common practice, and I have a chart that I can put on the screen if we want to, that shows all of the law codes.
Please don't chart right now.
I'm not going to. It shows all the law codes of Hammurabi, the Hittites, the Amorites, the whole shebang, the Torah, and the laws of slavery, where it's like, you pay this many shekels if you kill a slave versus this many shekels if you kill a woman versus this many shekels if you kill a man. And we would agree that's probably not the way to go. That's probably not right. Now, here's the question I really want to ask you, like, sincerely, like, as another person. And I know you have rearing in the gun the apologetic rebuttal. But my question is, if we were to go back and experience that and then come back to the present time and say, you know what, that's just not the way it should be. Why didn't Yahweh say, don't do those things? What is this like subjective versus objective thing? Like why didn't Yahweh back then like blow people's minds when he said, don't eat pigs? And we know now through archaeology that there are Israelite settlements versus Canaanite settlements based on the pig bones. So there were laws in the Old Testament that said don't eat pigs, and they didn't. Why didn't Yahweh say, you know what, besides not eating pigs, don't have slaves, besides not having tattoos? You know what? let's not own people as property. Like, why? I'm just asking you as a person. Why?
Well, I mean, with all due respect, in your worldview, I still don't know exactly what's wrong with slavery or pig's
That's
blood
not
or
the
any of that.
question. Don't dodge the question. The
I'm
question
not
was
dodging the
human to
question.
human. Why could the
Well,
God
again,
Be
not
sincere,
say,
or we'll drop you right
don't
now.
I'm being
own
I will
sincere.
drop you
slaves?
this very
Answer the
second.
question first,
Hold
and then
on.
we can go back to where we get our morals.
I
But
have an
answer the
objective.
We've got
question,
another
please.
person in the box. I'm about ready to
I have
him.
an objective standard for right or wrong, and you
Nope.
don't.
I want you to answer the question, human to human. If we both can agree that slavery is wrong and God said own slaves, why could not he have said, hey, don't eat shellfish and don't own humans?
Again,
Answer
I
the
don't know.
question.
What exactly is wrong with that in your worldview, though?
That's not the question.
Owning humans?
There's so much wrong with owning humans in my worldview. And I
Okay,
don't
but
need a
that's
God to tell
subjective.
me why.
Because that's subjective. If I were to say, you know, eating
It's all
shellfish is
subjective.
bad,
That's my fucking point.
Okay. Larry. I'm gonna dial this in for you again. I need you to focus. I need you to focus, Larry. What is the difference between subjectivity and objectivity? I need you to give me a definition.
Sure.
Subjectivity and
I'll do it right now.
objectivity.
One of them is grounded outside of the human mind. The other one is subject to the human mind.
Why are you defining it as human? Because what if, like...
Well, because humans are the only ones that have minds.
So
that can...
if I have a magical unicorn in the sky that I believe in, and I'm going to call her Claude. So Claude is a magical unicorn in the sky, which, by the way, I actually have her app, and I can ask her questions and get magical answers. And she kicks ass. I even have apps that I've created through this magical unicorn named Claude. So if Claude is my magical unicorn with objective reality, and everything that Claude says is true, is that what I should believe in?
Is Claude the creator of the universe?
Yes! Claude created the... Let me ask right now. Hold on. I'm going to ask if Claude created the universe. Hold on. Yes. Claude created the universe.
So the answer to your question would be, if God created the universe and created you, then yeah, they would be the objective standard for morality.
So whatever Claude says is true. So I'm going to ask Claude if Claude thinks that slavery is wrong at any point in time. Is...
Well, again, I don't know what's wrong with that from your worldview.
At
Because
any
in your worldview,
point in
morality is
In our
subjective.
worldview, it's wrong because we know that we would not
Larry,
want to own slaves and we
Larry,
would not
it's
to
my
be
turn
owned
to
as
talk.
a slave.
At any
And
point
he's
in
still
human
talking.
history. Hold on.
Rock hard for Claude in the chat. Yes.
All right. Hold on. Claude says that it is objectively... She didn't actually say objectively. And by the way, I think Claude's a girl and we have these debates in our own household. But she says that owning slaves is wrong at any point in human history, objectively.
Right, but you earlier said that it was the collective that decides morality. So I asked you, if the collective decides morality and the collective tomorrow started
let's be
slavery,
honest. I was sinning.
You were what?
Sinning.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't believe in sin from your worldview, right? Because there is no right or wrong. If there is, you need to point to an objective standard that says this thing right, that thing wrong.
So I believe that there are so, like, for example, I believe that there is things that are helpful and things that are hurtful. Okay.
Based off what?
So
knowledge, experience.
Okay, where does knowledge come from?
Ahead. Our fucking brain. We've already been there. Go ahead.
All right. Is your brain
Larry,
is your brain a byproduct of evolution?
You're being so dishonest.
I'm not being dishonest. Is your brain a byproduct of evolution?
We are all a product of evolution.
Okay, so you're the result of a random process that never had you in mind?
No, it's not a random process. It's fucking science.
No, evolution is a random process.
Of science.
No, science is just the observation of the world around us. Science did not create evolution. So if you're the random result,
evolution, it just happened, and the thing that we call it is the scientific process.
No, the evolution is a theory, and it's a random process. Right? That's how you evolved.
What happened to the organisms scientifically.
Let me try to finish the point so you understand what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're trying to say.
If you're the byproduct of a random evolutionary process that never had you in mind, then how could you ever trust your own mind to be geared at truth?
You gotta just do your best. You gotta look around you. You gotta learn. You gotta take in context.
So you gotta
talk to people. You've gotta try to do no harm. You've got to try to like, hey, guess what? That person punched me and I didn't like it. So I'm not going to punch the person to my right. It's really pretty fucking simple.
Well, it's not that simple because...
Yes, it is.
No, because let's just say...
me.
I'm just going to give you a hypothetical. But let's just say that, I don't know, I wanted an ethno state. And I thought, well, you know what? Like, I might have to kill 2 million people. But if I can create an ethno state, it's going to be better for everyone involved in the long term. Why am I wrong?
An ethno state?
That's a good definition.
What do you mean by ethno state?
If I wanted to create an ethno state like the Nazis did, right,
like
back in the 1940s.
Nazis.
No, oh. Gotcha.
Sure. What would be wrong with that?
On
your worldview.
Should not do that to other people.
Why?
Because it's bad.
Based off of what?
Because would I want them to come do that to me? No.
Okay, but what if the person doesn't care?
That doesn't make it right.
Based off of what?
Larry, we're not getting anywhere. We have another caller in the box. I'm over it. I hate the Phil Bro shit.
Like that doesn't make it right.
No,
as though
I'm
there's
over
some
it.
Standard by
You're
which
dishonest
you're
as
measuring
shit.
right or wrong.
We can talk again. Come back. You're full of shit. I'm done. I'm sorry. That was so disingenuous. Kick him. I'm done.
All right. So
I get to say that. I have a voice. I'm a woman and I have a voice. God, that was just so stupid.
It was actually stupid. We do have Fro in the box.
We do have someone in the box. I just needed 1 second to decompress from the asinine.
It's interesting.
Assumptive. You can't have. Where do you get your morals? Well, how do you know that's bad? Because it's fucking shitty. I can tell if something's shitty or not. I don't need a god to tell me. Jesus fucking Doug.
So
I haven't gotten this riled up yet on our stream.
She hasn't. So
Intrepid Trip is always in here saying I'm trying to be respectful. Intrepid, I have let you down.
So first of all, for any folks joining from the Justin raid, which we hugely appreciate, big shout out to Justin. I am actually at Rock Hard for Doug. Adele is at Adele, that you all have seen on Justin's lives. But this is the most Adele's been riled up. Y'all caught her fired up, which is kind of amazing. Anyways, Fro, we are going to bring you up in 2 seconds. We are just going to decompress. So what we have had tonight is 3 back-to-back Phil Bros. And we are going to off camera discuss whether or not we take tag arguments in the future.
Yeah, I don't love
because
tag arguments.
I have purposefully navigated those, but I don't know that I prepared everyone in the group here for where that can go.
Me. I didn't. I engaged.
Cool. Hey, go ahead. Next time you've got it. Okay. So, Fro, we are gonna bring you. Okay. Fro, you are
hello, sir and madam.
Yes. Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you. And are you over the age of 18?
Last time I checked, I'm 46. So yes.
Love it.
Dude, you are a year above my tenor. I am 45 and proud of it. So welcome.
I was born on the 11th of September 1979.
Wait a minute. That does not seem like... Was that the same math? I was in 81. How did I miss a year? January.
It's 2026.
Oh, okay,
so...
okay. I was January of of 1981, so that makes sense. We're okay.
Yes.
We're there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say something before I
Yes,
start
please.
talking
And
about?
please, give me some grace. I'm calm. I'm calm.
She's calm.
Yeah.
Everything's cool.
I'm just going to say this, and Christians, be ashamed of yourself coming up here and being such douchebags. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry. Can you honestly answer a question?
I know. It
Yes.
is. It is. Do you know what? It makes me so fucking angry. I'm sorry for swearing. Is swearing okay?
You can swear all you want.
Okay.
I
I am so fucking angry at Christians sometimes. It gets me ashamed of calling myself a Christian.
Well, Jesus at one point said it's better to call your brother. It's like the whole Raka thing. It's better to call your brother. You know, it's like. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, ask me if I support slavery in the Bible, please.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
That easy. Yeah.
Easy.
And you know what? We have had on our. So first of all, the reason why we do this is because
that's Graham says caller's a little loud.
Gotcha.
Just a tad.
We have had such good callers. Some of our best callers have been like Max, for example, David, for example.
We've had some amazing.
We've had some great callers. Clay was a great caller. Greg. We've had some really, really good callers who are honest. And you know what? I don't care if we agree or disagree. I just want to be honest and use real. And it's okay if a person uses a word that I don't understand. That's okay.
Totally fine.
But like
I mean I would say I'm an honest Christian. I hate dishonesty. It is one of my pet peeves when it comes to people that call themselves Christians, that they are not able to answer questions. They are not able to say that slavery is wicked. Like, ask any of the Phil bros that comes up here and goes in argument if they want to be a slave.
And they dodge it. And they say, well, how do you know? How do you know that slavery is wrong? Because you don't have a basis for your
Where do you get your morals?
And I'm like, what, dude? Like, I don't want to be owned.
Put it and do it. It's so easy because I don't want you to own me. And maybe it's just selfish. I don't want to be owned. Therefore, I don't want to own another person because due to the fact that I know that I wouldn't want that, I wouldn't want to do that to another human. I think
so. Can I give you a little background on me?
Yes, please. And do we call you? I'm sorry, Fro.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
It's short for Frode, but nobody says that correctly. So my name is Fro.
Fro,
Even my dad calls me Fro, so it doesn't matter.
So I'm.
I love it. I love it.
Sorry.
I said I assume we're in good company then if we also call you Fro.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I will say this. I'm 46 years old, yes. I've been a Christian for maybe 2 3 years now. And I have problems with my faith as everybody else. I had a very good conversation on Justin's channel many months ago
that. We love Justin. By the way, he just popped in. Thank you for the Justin raid.
Yes, and I told him that one of the main reasons why I still was a Christian was because I was afraid of hell.
Of course. That's, I think, probably the most compelling reason to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How could it not be?
Exactly. I'm also ex-Mormon and also an ex-Muslim. So that was in a galaxy far, far away.
That is a fantastic. By the way, you have a fantastic perspective. Like, I am just like, I recently read a book on Islam. I'm currently diving into Hinduism. But the fact that you are immersed in this, and I have a friend who is Mormon, and I know I I understand a little bit, but I need to know a lot more. The fact that you experience these things and know them firsthand is an incredible, it's just incredible life experience. That's awesome.
Well, I will even blow your mind a little bit better then, because when I left Mormonism, I visited every religious church in Norway, and I visited over 60 different churches during 3 years of my life.
That's
I
awesome.
went. I
Good
went.
for you for just like exploring, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Scientology, had meetings with them. I had meetings with people that was Smith's friends. I had more people with that had faith with Odin, and I had people meetings with people that was neo-Nazis that believed in that kind of religion. Like it was super interesting. I wrote 100 pages of a book comparing the different religions, and then lost the hard drive on the ground and took that as
I
a
was literally gonna ask, I will buy this book. I love this
Yeah.
perspective.
And I took that as a sign from God that I wasn't supposed to write that book, so I never wrote it.
Not a God moment. That's a sad
That's just
bummer
a
moment.
bummer hard drive moment, man.
Yeah, well.
Dang.
But yeah, no. So I have a pretty unique point of view because I know so many religions. Like I have good friends of mine that are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. I have good friends of mine that was oh my gosh, what Moonies. Do you remember the Moonies?
I don't know the Moonies.
Google it.
Okay, Moonies. Mooni. Is it Mooney?
Yeah, they are called something, the family or something today.
Oh, the Moonies cult, founded in 1954 by Myung Moon.
Yep.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So
I've even been to those meetings.
So okay. So let me ask this question. So
Hit me.
You are like me. I feel like, and I don't want to presuppose that, but I'm just thinking that like you're a seeker. You're the type of person, like I'm like this, and we talked about this on an earlier chat where it's like I've got this like I want to believe poster in my garage. Like
actually, I think I could probably go find it.
It's actually in the storage closet. But
I'm a X-Files dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Mulder for the win, Fox Mulder. I love Fox. Anyways, and Fox is my spirit animal. But like you really are trying. You're really trying to find, or have found now. Maybe you have found through Christianity, but you have been seeking the truth of this spiritual reality, because what you believe, and I'm presupposing a lot, so I'm gonna say this and then tell me where I'm wrong.
One of my favorite sayings are, "Assume makes an ass of you and me."
Yes, 100%. So that's why I always preface it by saying, let me say what I think you mean, but tell me where I'm wrong. So what I think you mean is you have a belief that there's something out there that's bigger than ourselves, and you've been looking for this thing, and you've gone to all of these different religions, and you've even like physically traveled to places to experience them like intrinsically. And what you have discovered in all these travels is that the Christian God is the reality. And stop me, because it might not be the Christian God. It could be another God. But
it is the Christian God. Yeah, for me.
Okay. So what helped? What got you to land on the Christian God after all these experiences? Because based on what you said,
you're going to hate my answer.
Experiences.
You're going to hate my answer.
No. I was a Christian, dude. I've been a Christian.
No, I
for
mean it. You're
way
going to
longer than I've
hate.
been non-Christian.
You're going to hate my answer because my answer is that I got convinced by the tag argument.
No.
Yep.
Okay. No, go ahead. Go. No.
I'm
Absolutely.
not discouraging
Okay.
you.
I would encourage you not to take the bait, though.
I'm not taking any bait.
I'm gonna. Can I cut
Yes.
Adele off from the bait? And can I have you explain why you got to Christianity through tag?
For me, it just made sense. It was the final. It was the final puzzle piece. That is how I explain it. I think it made sense in my worldview, and I understand that people think that the tag argument is shit, but for me it is. It was
Thank you for that.
So first of all, for any especially any folks coming from the Justin raid, what I would posit is this.
By the way, Justin just tag is dog shit.
Anybody that wants to engage in tag should
definitely talk to Ian.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. They should watch no less than 100 hours of Ian's live.
Allegedly Ian.
I love Allegedly Ian. Shout out to Allegedly Ian.
I'm not above plugging other people in our community, and Allegedly Ian is incredible and knows way more about this and has way more patience than we do. I'm not saying I don't want to talk to you. I'm just putting that out into the verse.
So there's a prerequisite: 100 hours of Allegedly Ian on the tag argument, and then you can engage. Okay. But I'm interested to know, like, how you got to Christianity from tag. Because
I like I said, for me it is the final puzzle piece. I just think that the reason why I believe in Christianity is because I was given the tag argument from a Christian. I think I'm going to be 110% honest with you. If I heard the tag argument from somebody else at that time, I would probably become their religion.
Okay. You know what? First of all, because you said that, Fro, all of my cards are going to be on the table. I am moving all of my defenses down. That level of honesty is where we find truth. And that is what we're here to do. That's why we're called the Inquiry Couple, is because we are just trying to seek the truth. And wow, I appreciate that a ton.
You know, I think it's the only honest answer. Like I said, I'm trying to be as honest as I can. And at that time when I heard the tag argument from the person that gave it to me, I started weeping. I started crying, and I just felt like it was the final puzzle piece in a puzzle that I had looked into for so incredibly long. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that knock and the doors will be open and things like that. And it also says that, like, if you come to God with a pure heart,
Matthew?
Sorry?
I think it's Matthew. The knock and the door shall open. Sorry, I didn't. I was just trying to place the verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I can pull it up on the screen because that's a really good verse, actually.
Larry Spaghetti hates me, by the way.
Well, Larry Spaghetti hates everyone, and we're not necessarily on good
Larry
terms.
Spaghetti, listen, you know what? Larry Spaghetti,
I need a minute to cool my jets on Larry Spaghetti.
Yeah, we're not.
He says I'm boring, so there's that.
No, you're not. You're actually quite lovely.
Larry Spaghetti is like 3 seconds away from getting banned.
we're not gonna ban you on your first time. Just do better and be honest.
Yeah, Larry, you're cool, but just like be cool.
But I also don't want to waste.
So there is this chapter in the Bible where it says that if you come to him with a pure heart and you pray, you will get answers. And I feel like I did that when I heard the tag argument. I just felt like that was the like I said, for me it was the final puzzle piece that kind of fit into my reality. I'm not saying that the tag argument is supposed to convince other people, but for me it was the final puzzle piece.
And also thank you for that.
Yeah.
So
So what about it was convincing for you?
Sorry?
What about the tag argument like clicked in your brain and was like, yeah, that's it?
Through Christianity.
Oh, the morality argument, definitely.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no, it was
so like the idea that you can't find morality without God.
Exactly, yeah.
So if we don't have God, how do we have morals?
Sorry?
If the two of us right here are atheists and we don't believe in God, how do we have morals?
I think it's built into you.
How?
I don't know how, but I just think you're born with it.
Well, then why do we need God if we're born with it?
Because God gave it to you when you were born.
But if I don't believe in God and I was just born and I still know that I don't want to like own a slave or like kill my neighbor.
Yeah.
How do I know that?
Because he put it in you?
But I don't believe that.
No, but I believe that.
But so you believe that even if I'm a disbeliever, my morals still come from your God?
Yes.
And why is your God the one that's right versus like Vishnu?
That is an extremely good question. I wish I had an answer.
Do you know?
Well, thank you for that honest answer.
Yeah, can I tell you that the reason why that is a question of mine is because when I was like 8 or
this is actually like part of his entire faith history and deconstruction. So this is really like relevant.
And Fro, by the way, like we always just assume because we're just like going live and talking all the time about our history, like we think that people have heard our story, but if you don't know our story,
yeah, like, this is my first time here. Sorry.
Okay. So let me tell you. So I will tell you my story. So, and this story about Hinduism comes up in my story. So, I grew up in a very serious. How do I say this? I'm just going to call it what it is. I grew up in a very fundamentally Protestant cult, where, and I say cult, I don't want people to think that like I was abused, because I wasn't, and I'm not like mad at people because like I was hurt, because I wasn't. I was actually very privileged.
But it was.
I'm a white male in the United States of America.
But maybe other people in your religion were.
Right. True. I
don't want to belittle. Because you were a white male.
Can I ask what kind of religion it was?
So it was Christianity, and it was Protestant non-denomination fundamentalist.
Okay, cool.
So we believed that the Catholics got it wrong. We believed that Martin Luther got it wrong. We believed that everyone got it wrong, and that you had to just read and read and read and read the Bible to understand what's really true, because the Bible was the inerrant word of God. So we read the Bible, and I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, I was in my grandma's house because I would be there when my mom was working and my dad was working. And I asked her, because she was kind of the matriarch of the family, I said, if I grew up in a country that believed in, and I don't know why I said Hinduism.
Maybe something like.
I hope I'm not misremembering that. But like I said, if I grew up in a country that believed that Hinduism was true, would we be Hindu? And she gave me an answer that was basically whatever she said words, but what I recall was no.
Don't ask the question.
We would believe in Christianity. But I didn't get a satisfactory feeling. I was like, wait a minute, I was like, but why? And so that's carried with me through my entire life, where I've always been like, how do I know that what I believe is true based off of what I was raised with? And I know there's people that come in here where they love to say, I was atheist and now I'm a Christian. Where it's like, okay, cool, but like, was your wife a Christian? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
I don't know. That's my
history. Can I try to answer that? I mean,
absolutely.
My parents are hardcore Marxists. I grew up in.
Interesting.
That's awesome. Interesting. And like, not awesome as in I approve of it, but awesome as in interesting.
Yeah, I grew up in a household that hated God with a passion. I think I became a Mormon more or less to rebel when I was 17.
I can see why you took this journey, but go ahead, continue. This is interesting. Yes.
And in 1994, I saw the movie The Prince of Egypt. It's the movie I have seen the most times in my life. I've probably seen that movie more than 100 times.
I've never seen it before.
I fucking love that movie.
You know the movie?
Yeah.
The Prince of Egypt?
Oh, such a good movie.
I'm literally putting it in my notes.
Put it in your Google.
I am going.
We won't watch it tonight because it's already 1 a.m.
But
the Prince. Watching that movie with me is extremely nauseating because I know every line of that movie.
Nostalgia, right?
Yes.
First of all, Fro, already, now that I pulled this up and now that I know that it's like an animated movie because I love animated movies.
Oh yeah.
I please hope that you subscribe.
This character was in The Red Dragon.
And Sandra Bullock's in it? And Val Kilmer? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You please subscribe, and we would love to have you back because
you're actually nice and honest.
You're amazing.
First of all, but anyways, let's let him
go ahead.
More.
Sorry.
Yeah. So when I watch that movie, I sing "Deliver Me." Da 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 da. I will not. I will not
go for
hurt your audience ears. But yeah, no. So that movie got me to read the Bible, because it's about Moses that comes out of Egypt.
Yeah,
interesting.
All that story.
I will rewatch this for his first watch just with that thought in mind.
Yeah,
but continue.
And it made me pretty sure I was a Jew for a very, very, very long time.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Because when I read the Old Testament, I believed it after watching that movie.
I don't want to do any spoilers, but can I assume that the Prince of Egypt is Moses?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for any viewers that...
Spoiler alert!
I was late. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Spoiler alert! He puts the C in too. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert.
This after our last two calls.
Oh my God, you are amazing. We love you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So when I read the New Testament the first time, I just looked at it and I was like, okay, what is this Harry Potter shit? And yeah, I just thought of it like I don't know how to explain it other than I just didn't understand the New Testament after reading the Old Testament. So I was
it's whiplash. Wait, can we pause there?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of whiplash, and that's what I struggled with. So I had a reverse version of your upbringing where I was raised in this, and then and I literally, like, the only thing I could read was the Bible. So I just read the Bible over and over and over again. And the thing that happened to me was I kept getting whiplash.
Yeah.
Between Jesus saying, turn the other cheek, give your cloak 70 times 7 forgiveness, versus Yahweh saying, I'm a jealous God. If you look at me wrong,
fuck you.
Your babies are gone smoking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is whiplash. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I saw very big contradictions between the Old and the New Testament. So I was like, nah, I don't believe this shit.
I don't disagree.
And after reading the Bible for like the fourth or fifth time, I kind of like I got a new revived version of it, and I kind of felt like the New Testament spoke to me more.
Can you describe that? Like, what do you feel? Because I feel like that's the heart of where we're going, and I don't want to jump ahead because first of all, thank you for being so amazingly honest. Like, we have
and just genuine.
Yeah, and genuine. But what was the thing that you realized after reading it holistically that you were like, you know what? This is what reconciles the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Oh, that is a good question. I think
it's one of the most important questions.
Yeah, I think for me it was that I read Daniel and Revelations together.
Whoa, that's hardcore, dude. So you, whoa, okay, that I did not expect that. First of all, and Adele also reacted accordingly.
That was like left field. Go ahead,
because
this is your
Daniel and Revelation are like saying basically, and that's where this whole like we are in hell right now in this live stream, where it's like, if you don't believe in this particular belief system, let's say I believe in Brahma, and I think that Brahma is the way to truth, and I live my entire life helping people, being kind to people, especially welcoming in guests and being kind to guests, and like and that sort of thing. And then because I didn't believe in Jesus, and not to mention Buddha, right? Because Buddha popped on the scene 500 BC, but people that believe in Brahma were kind of like, yeah, Buddha was like this pat on the head guy. He was, no, actually, people that believe in Hinduism, I don't want to misspeak, they believe that Buddha was an avatar of Vishnu. And correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. I'm more of like a Buddha, Brahma, let's be cool. But I don't believe, according to Paul, that Jesus is the only way to heaven. Because of that misunderstanding, I am going to burn eternally. So if I live to 70,
I don't think so. I have bad news for you. But
are you like Origin?
So okay? So you don't think we're both actually burning?
That's actually great. You believe in the early church fathers, but go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm extremely sorry to disappoint you, but both of you.
You're not.
No, actually, you're refreshing. This is refreshing.
I don't think either of you are going to hell, but that's my personal. That's my personal
really
opinion.
Nice to think about, actually. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, no. When I did a very deep study between Daniel and Revelations, I saw that there were so many similarities between Daniel and Revelations that I couldn't deny that the link between the New and the Old Testament was there. that is kind of what clicked with me. So when I understood that Revelation and Daniel are more or less, for people that don't know this, spoiler alert, they are kind of the same, more or less.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, I mean, the Revelations is the last book of the Bible, so I don't want to spoil it for people. Yeah, no, there's a huge similarity between Daniel and Revelations, and you could even say that connection there is kind of what convinced me that the New Testament and the Old Testament went together. So when you yeah, sorry.
No. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
Yeah, so when people ask me if I see any connections between the Old and the New Testament, yeah, I point to Daniel and the Revelations.
So can I posit that, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. Daniel has two parts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read Daniel, you'll see distinctively where the two parts separate. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the language that it is written in, you will also see a more clear split where it separates. So, for example, most of Daniel is written in like biblical Hebrew. And mm-hmm. then all of a sudden it splits into Aramaic. Right? Mm-hmm. Like it's like, and then it's like the story of Daniel in the lion's den, and then all of a sudden, boom, we've got like visions and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So the visions portion is very much in line with the Hasmonean dynasty, which are the Maccabees. Mm-hmm. Are like, if you're familiar with this, I won't like explain it.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. That's okay.
It's like I would speak Norwegian to you.
Okay. So let me throw this out as something for the viewers to look into and for you to look into. And it is when, so this is what I would research. When was the book of Daniel written? I would also add as a keyword First Daniel and like Daniel, yeah. Or Second Daniel, because mm-hmm. the thing is, what happened was around 165 BC, there was this major movement within the Israelite community where they said, we are going to take our land back. So remember, in 586, they got like captured by the Babylonians. And from that point forward, they were just exiled, and they were trapped people. And then in like the 160s BC, there was this group of people that said, no, we're going to rise up and we're going to take over and we're going to be our own people again. And what happened was they literally won their country back. And for almost 100 years, Israel, again, was its own country. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, what happened was the frickin' Romans came, and then they conquered them again. So they squashed them back down.
Yeah.
But this
Boo Romans! Boo!
Yeah, frickin' Romans. So
Romans.
So there was this period though where like they had a moment where they were like, we have our nation again. We've got national pride, and they had these texts, mostly Daniel and the Maccabees. Now, here's the problem, and this is why the Maccabees is apocryphal.
Oh, what a cute dog.
Oh yeah, this is our little potato.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Gracie.
Yeah, this is Gracie. She's old, she's arthritic, she's blind, and she was about to start making a bunch of noise, so I...
But if she could speak English, she's like as wise as Yoda. And she looks like Yoda.
A little bit like a baby Grogu with the ears.
Let me try something. Hei, kjære hund. Hei, hunden. Å, så fin hund. Oj, så fin hund, vet du. Oj, så fin hund. Ja, så fin hund. Yeah.
Does that speak
Okay.
to you?
I feel like she understood it, but she couldn't quite like respond.
She can't articulate.
She speaks Norwegian. I see it.
Oh, she's mostly Chihuahua, so I think she mostly speaks Spanish.
Hola.
Watch her like talk. If she talks, I believe in God.
Right.
Boom.
Come on, Gracie.
Balaam's talking donkey.
Jesus.
I
Prove
believe
God.
we're here. But
I heard her. She said hi, bro, in Norwegian.
So, anyways,
now you can't deny Christ because she spoke to me.
Because Gracie.
So that derailed me 100%. So, anyways,
yes, me as well. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, but I guess my point is like, actually, I don't know my point. Gracie derailed me.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You have the floor, sir. You have the floor.
But yeah, no. So, but I'm okay. Now I am going to assume. I'm assuming you have read Revelations and Daniel, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Cool. And you would agree that they have many similarities, right?
Revelation and Daniel, absolutely. Because quite frankly, John of Patmos, if that's actually who wrote it, where he wrote it, had Daniel, obviously.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Obviously, yeah. So for me that was the final nail in the connection between the Old and the New Testament. There are other parts, but I would definitely say that. Now I am going to ask you a very weird question. Have you read the Book of Mormon and the Quran by any chance?
Okay, so first of all, two things before we go there. Yes, Daniel definitely inspired. What?
Don't we have both the Book of Mormon and the Quran?
Okay. We have. So definitely, Daniel did inspire Revelation. I agree 100%. In fact,
cool.
If can I ask you a question and then I will answer your question? In fact, I'm going to answer your question first because I hate it when people don't answer questions. Have I read the Book of Mormon and have I read the Quran? The answer is yay.
Partially?
Because I don't speak Arabic, so I can't read the Quran correctly.
Oh yeah.
So have I read the Quran? I've read the context of the Quran, but I've not read it in Arabic. Have I read the Book of Mormon? Mostly. Like, did I get slogged down like people do in the Book of Leviticus with the with the Old Testament? Yes. But I did slog through it. So, like, what was my retention level? Bad. So, like, I kind of read the Book of Mormon. I sort of read the Quran. That would be my answer to those questions.
Okay.
If I'm being
honest. The reason why I bring that up, and this is going to surprise people that haven't been Mormons or Muslims, but the Quran and the Book of Mormon have more similarities than than people would know.
I'm interested in your perspective here. Actually, what's your perspective on this?
I believe that I will say this. I will say this. I think.
Oh, great.
I think the Book of Mormon was incredibly inspired by the Quran.
And the Book of Mormon was inspired by the Quran. Okay, continue. I'm interested in this perspective. So. Okay, go ahead.
Now people are going to call me crazy because
who cares?
Well,
who cares what people
all that.
think?
Continue with your line of thought because
you know what? This is a
something I've never entertained.
Honestly, I'm about ready to like change this whole premise to like free thinking platform. This is a free thinking platform.
So I have I have read the Book of Mormon and the Quran. I have never read the Quran in Arabic either. I have only read the English translation because guess what? I don't speak Arabic. I speak Norwegian, so that's close enough.
Which is cool.
But
I'm technically of Norwegian descent,
but he can't speak Norwegian, so just like
doesn't matter.
Hey, my pickup line to girls is, "Hey, do you have any Norwegian in you? Would you like some?"
Would you like some? I got a solid action. Sorry.
Anyway, so there are many. I will say it like
part
this.
of our entire night.
Yeah, this is best.
I think there are as many similarities between the Book of Mormon and the Quran as there are similarities between the Book of Mormon. No, between Revelations and Daniel.
I just thought you said ass-man similarities.
No, but what he's saying though is
no, I know what he's saying.
Yeah,
I just thought that was funny, and when I covered my face, I didn't want him to think I was disrespecting him. I wanted him to know that I misheard, and I heard ass-man similarities.
So how does that prove that it's true though? Let's say that the Book of
Revelation. No, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that. For me, that has read the Book of Mormon and the Quran, there are as many
similarities.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what if... Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Before I ask more questions, you might be getting there.
Yeah, no, so one of the things I find most surprising as someone that has looked into over 50 different religions are the similarities between them. One of the things that I think that a lot of people don't know is the history of Muhammad and the history of Joseph Smith is also kind of similar in many points. I'm not saying it's similar in all, but there are similarities between Joseph Smith and Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, that are kind of like it surprised me when I looked into it some years ago. I'm actually working on a book right now.
Writing a book?
Yes.
Wow.
About the similarities between.
Will you subscribe to our channel so we can follow you back so we can watch your progress?
Yeah, I don't post anything on YouTube, but yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay. But or we could email or something. I would just be like super intrigued on this journey of yours.
I'm pretty deep down. I'm actually writing the foreword to the book right now. I'm almost done actually.
Wow.
It is going to be a 400 pages book or leaflet or whatever you call it about the similarities between Mormonism and Islam. I called it the title is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil that. But it's a pun. But for me, I when I read that made me even more unsure of the similarities between the Book of Daniel and Revelations, because, like I said, similarities doesn't make it true.
Right. Like that's what I'm getting at. Like, how do we know it's true? Like, why do you think that the Christian Bible is true? So actually, if we could like swoosh all of the stuff away, and I actually don't want to swoosh it away because sometimes that might be the reason why. But why is the Christian Bible true? It seems so full of holes. Yeah. And like
I agree.
Like questions. Like there's a lot of
like why?
Yeah, why do rabbits don't chew cud? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And rock badgers, man.
And women don't always bleed on the first time they have sex.
I didn't even know rock badgers existed until I read the Bible.
Me neither. But
I have to look up what is a rock badger.
What?
Yeah,
and there
are so many false things in the Bible,
and that doesn't bother you.
Of course, it bothers me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am aware of it.
Okay.
So how do you reconcile it?
And then you...
How do you still believe?
So then... Where does your...
And why?
I'm not trying to like lead the conversation. I don't want to say where does your mind go or how do you rationalize or whatever.
I hate to give this answer, but it is the truth. It's personal experience, man.
No, don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of that. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The question isn't why, it's how, or it's not like how do you believe in it, it's why. And you're saying the why is because of a personal experience that you've had of the Christian God.
Yes.
Of the Bible. Okay. So before you tell us the story,
right?
Because I do want to hear the story
as well.
I do want to hear the story. If you're willing to share.
Yeah, sure. It's long.
Or how about we do the like summary tonight, and then you come back another time and we pick it back up.
Yeah, no.
Very, it's 1:30 in the morning here, so like we probably don't like a 2-hour story, but if you give us like the like cliff notes, and then we like pick it up if you would be willing to come back.
I am ready to go.
I'm not weak. I'm saying
I will give you the short notes.
But can we preface it in this way? Sorry. Can we preface it in this way?
I'm sorry. Can you just stand up for me for 1 second?
Yeah, standing up.
Friend.
He's standing up.
Sorry?
Sorry.
Well, he's being rude.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, man. I'm just saying, like, I want to hear...
He's being rude to me.
Oh, to you. I don't care about you.
Okay,
as long as he's not rude to me, I don't care. I'm not married to the guy.
You know what?
That's a fair point.
I'm not gonna.
I just thought maybe you would stand up for me because I've been advocating for you.
I'm not going to be rude to her either. I'm not going to be rude to anybody. But my question is,
I was
tell us your story, because here's the thing, and you know where this is going.
He's doing the TL Too Long Don't Read version tonight, and then we're gonna revisit.
You know where this is going. If you were to tell this story in another religion, why would that religion not be the God that made whatever miraculous thing happen your thing?
And the honest answer to that, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's a real answer. That's a real answer. Yes. Go ahead with your story though. And honestly, you know what? Like, we're gonna clip this. We're gonna clip this in
good faith.
In your defense, if you're willing, and you don't have to actually. If you say don't clip it, I won't clip it. But what I'm gonna clip is your story as it sits, like in your own words, like why Christianity is real. And honestly, and if you botch it or you struggle with words, because I usually do, you can say, actually, don't clip that. I'm on your team. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The very, 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 very short version is this.
Yeah.
Gosh, sorry.
No, take your time.
Thank you for being here and putting in the time, honestly.
And seriously, you have been amazing.
Can I get a drink of water before I start?
Absolutely.
Okay, give me like 2 seconds.
No water.
Dude, by the way, can I say...
What a breath of fresh air.
I am literally revived by Fro.
Oh, those last couple callers were...
Fro is like...
Come over here and revive our water.
I will. Fro is like honest and nice and amazing. I freaking love Fro. Oh.
Yeah, we needed that. We had some dishonesty that was just really hard to stomach.
I'm pansexual, so I love you too.
Hey, we are for everybody and every belief.
Everybody loves somebody sometimes.
Okay, serenade me some more.
What?
Oh, he's singing.
Who's singing?
Oh yeah.
Is it Fleur? I can't.
Man.
Fro is singing to us.
Singing?
Mm-hmm. Well, he was. Well, you missed it. Did you get some water, friend?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, lovely.
Okay, so yeah, to make a very long story short, I went to some Pentecostal churches around Norway. I was very deeply depressed. I have a diagnosis that is extremely complicated. I will not go into it, but
like currently, right now.
Yeah.
I am really sorry to hear that.
Oh my goodness!
I won't ask you to share more.
Yeah,
I just
no,
want
but
to
just
take a moment.
seriously sympathetic
and
mental problems are real. People get help.
Of course. Yes, but I just want to take a moment to like acknowledge what you're going through.
Yeah, seriously.
Regardless of the rest of the conversation.
Oh my goodness. And I'll honestly, if you don't have our email address yet, it's inquirycouple@gmail.com, and would love to be able to talk to you.
Talk to us anytime.
Yeah, seriously.
But anyways, yeah, so I've been going to a psychiatrist. I have a very good team of helpers around me.
Good.
I am one of the lucky ones that lives in Norway where healthcare is actually free
and accessible. Available. I love that for you. Yeah. That makes me a little jealous. Okay, continue.
And I went around to Pentecostal churches and very hallelujah churches to feel saved.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never felt saved. I believed it in my brain, but I had never had a religious experience in my entire life. I was so hungry for it. It was almost like I felt like I was a nomad in a desert looking for water.
Yeah.
Because I was very envious of people that say, "Oh, I feel saved. Salvation is feelings." Like I believed it in my mind, but I didn't believe it in my body. So for the longest time, I really thought that something was incredibly wrong with me, because I couldn't like get the feeling of salvation into my body. So I went to churches and churches, and I had people laying their hand on me in Mormon churches, in Pentecostal churches, in Baptist churches.
Absolutely.
I went to revelation meetings. Do you know what revelation meetings are?
So where people like have discoveries in their mind that they think where like they reveal them with their voice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a spirit meeting.
Yeah. That's exactly what my head went to.
Yeah. And nothing, like absolutely nothing fucking helped. And I'm suicidal. I've tried to take my own life more than 10 times. And one of the reasons is because I have had this need of feeling that I'm loved. Because if there's one thing I hate, it is myself. And this self-hatred kind of became so
like your identity.
Yeah, my identity. It just became what
I was. And then
how
do you escape that?
Exactly.
Can I first of all interject to just say thank you so much for sharing that with us?
Yeah, you're welcome.
And that, like, regardless of what our beliefs are and whether or not we agree, that we are here to support you and we want you to have a safe space, and we would love for you to reach out to us at any time.
I appreciate
No one's
that.
above anything. Like, I've never, like, yeah.
I just,
But you know,
I have to interject to say that I'm not trying to interrupt your story.
No, it's cool. But yeah, no, that feeling of never being loved and things like that
it's huge.
It's awful.
It's overwhelming.
And then one day I was sitting in my bed and I was praying. I'm not going to try to scare people, but I had in front of me I had pills and was planning to kill myself.
To take them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this desperate prayer, and then I just felt like a hug came into my heart. It kind of lifted me off the bed. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I am 180 kilos. I'm a fat man. So I felt just incredibly lifted. I felt incredibly seen. I felt incredibly loved. And it was something in the Bible that I read where it says that when you die, you will have no more sorrow. You will leap with the lambs and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And that gave you comfort?
And it gave me pure comfort, yeah.
So, do you want to react first?
Go ahead.
I mean, my initial reaction was, one, it's so valid and vulnerable to have moments like this where we're like essentially at the will of someone else, right? Like you were either going to harm yourself or be saved, right? And to be able to talk about that is a whole other level, and I just have so much respect for you, and I just want you to know that. I think that there are levels to this. I think that, one, as humans, whether or not we believe the same thing, we can still be here and have love for each other and say, I'm so glad you're still here. I'm so glad you're talking about it. I'm so glad that we're able to have this conversation. Like, first and foremost, that is my number one priority to express to you, that I feel honored that you even talked to us about this. And I want to validate you and give you a space to be seen. And our email is in our description, and we are available all the time. If you ever need to reach out to someone just because we're not live, I just want you to have a space. Like, I assume maybe you have a safety net, maybe you don't.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my number one reaction and priority.
So that's the empathetic path. My thing, by the way, which I echo that, Fro, you were really freaking smart. You have a literal amazing level of intellect, and we definitely want to have you like come back and talk, because I would be interested to know, like, where from this path, like, the Christian God comes in as like the solvent, the one that like is the truth. But Fro, you have an incredible life story and an incredible path. And
you're
an incredible amount of experience.
And kind.
You are a treasure. You are a human treasure, because what I've experienced in my life, which is limited, is that most people like have a religion that they grew up in, and that's what they know. And they grew up in an area of the world, and that's what the culture they know. You have experienced or studied different cultures and experiences of multiple areas. You are not like you are a treasure trove of information that can further humanity. And I'm a humanitarian, so if I were to have a religion that I would prescribe to, because I'm not a Christian and I'm not a Hindu and I'm not like Muslim, my religion is humanitarianism. And you have such a rich knowledge of things that could bring like grounding to humanitarianism.
I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Hey, get saved, come to Christ." That's not my goal.
Well, and our goal isn't to say, "Hey, we don't believe, leave Christ."
Right. You're right. We're not saying leave Christ. We're
I mean, that's so we are on mutual ground here.
Yeah.
I am not an apologetics. I don't know many things. I love listening to atheists. I think we need more atheists in the world, and I actually mean that. I love people that are free thinkers. I love that people are open-minded.
Well, I would agree, like whether or not we're atheists and you're a believer or whatever our title is, I think that if we're willing to talk about more complex subjects and like have, to your point, you said the word free thinking, to have these conversations that aren't bound by preconceived notions, I think that as a whole, whether or not we have an agenda to change anyone's mind or any end goal in sight, we can have something meaningful happen.
Right. If I leave you my email in the private chat,
actually,
can you see it on?
We can see the chat, and also our email should be in the description of our video. But if you put it in the chat, we'll save it down. We would love to correspond with you more.
I'm just extremely terrible at writing.
No, that's
I got you.
Put it in the chat.
I got you, dude.
We will save it.
I got you.
Okay.
Here, if you put it in the chat.
But the only thing is, if you put it in the chat, everyone in the chat has it.
No, I put it in the private chat.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Do you see it?
I don't know how private chat.
We've never had a private chat before.
Oh,
give us 1 second.
It's in StreamYard. You see comments.
Yeah, we're in. Go into the StreamYard, not the YouTube in the StreamYard. That makes sense. Thank you. Thank you for educating us. We gotta go to our live stream.
It should show up under the banner private chat in StreamYards.
Maybe just email us at inquirycouple@gmail.com.
I'm terrible at doing that.
I'm bad. Dude,
we're both bad.
How about this?
So bad.
I will fucking
inquirycouple@gmail.com.
I will spell my email.
Inquirycouple.
Okay, actually, I'll pull up a notepad. Tell me your email. 1 second.
What's so funny is I'm gonna see this tomorrow and be like, "Oh, I get exactly what he was saying."
All right, give me your email.
Lima.
Well, no,
Echo.
but
say that again.
Lima Echo. Giraffe.
Well, how do I spell that?
No, it's letters. L for Lima, E for Echo, G for Giraffe, G for Giraffe, T as Tango, I as ice cream, and L as Lima @gmail.com.
Whoa. Honestly, that was really, really cool. Go.
It doesn't seem.
Lima Echo Giraffe.
Echo Giraffe TAL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we got you.
It means add to in Norwegian.
Okay, I got you.
So
you're on our notepad.
So
we will email you.
So I'm gonna be a little nerdy here.
Yes.
I am 99% Norwegian. Now I don't look like I'm 99% Norwegian.
He eats enough frickin' lutefisk to be 99% Norwegian. And I
hate the lutefisk.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's gross.
It's horrible.
I love lutefisk.
He's not allowed to kiss me. Like I have to know when he's eating it.
Hey, I would kiss him either, and he's handsome.
Oh, it's horrible. Oh yeah, he's very handsome, but I will not kiss him after a lutefisk.
No.
The only reason I.
But my real question is this: have you had smala?
What is that? What?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you just say? What did you say?
Smala hauge. Or
Smala
smala hode. Yes.
No.
That is a Norwegian dish.
Oh, dang it. Okay. You have to come back.
Well, I'm about to email him tomorrow morning.
I have to know what this is.
On our drive, we're driving back.
We're driving back to my family.
I'm driving to see my in-laws tomorrow. Everyone.
It's a smoked sheep's head.
Ew.
You know what? If it's part of the heritage, I'm cool.
I love it.
Thing. I'm not.
I love smala hode.
I'll do it if it's part of the heritage. I'm down. I'm cool.
You would do it anyway because you're weird. I'm not doing it. I don't do the lutefisk, and I'm not doing that. I married him, but I'm not doing that.
Oh my.
Anyway, everyone.
How did you meet, by the way?
How did we meet each other?
Oh.
Yeah.
Tinder.
Well, okay. Let's take it. Yeah, we met each other on an app called Tinder.
Never heard of it.
It's a super sophisticated.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking. Holy fuck.
I was gonna say it's a super sophisticated dating app.
We dated for like 6 years before we actually got married and merged our families together based on meeting off of this app.
Do you have kids?
We both have. So he has a child. He has a boy that's 13. I have a daughter that's 14. So we're like the miniature Brady Bunch. It's like, merge.
So we merged the.
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
But only like 4 of us instead of like 100 of us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Nail the notes. But we did. It
took us a while. Like we weren't like instantly like I want to do this again.
But it did work out.
It does. He's my best friend.
Yeah, I know. She's my best friend. No, she's my literal best friend. Actually.
Aww.
It's actually ridiculous. It's sick.
It's actually disgusting.
Hey, boys and girls, I'm single. Hint, hint. What?
Okay, well, I'll start plugging you. You seem adorable as crap.
So the key is this.
Well, okay. Can I tell you how I won him over?
Oh dang, she's going. Here we go. I don't know.
Am I allowed to share?
Go ahead. I don't know.
I said that I loved to play guitar and play dominoes.
And you liked whiskey.
And I liked whiskey.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I would marry you in a heartbeat just for
yes!
that.
And he to my house saying he would beat my ass at dominoes, and he had never played in his life.
Because I'm in sales.
And he won.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna kick your ass at dominoes. And so
I'm
she
a Braille
invited me
translator,
over.
by the way.
Never played dominoes.
Wait, you're a
in my
what
life.
translator?
A Braille.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
What does that mean?
Braille, like if you're blind.
Oh shit! Playing dominoes Braille? Holy shit!
I think that like just the dominoes reminded him of.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that's badass.
That's exactly why I mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I assumed. But anyway, yeah. So.
Yeah, no, my sister was blind, so when I grew up,
I
wanted.
Amazing. So were you young when she was born, or was she older than you?
She's older than me. So when I grew up...
so when you were born, it was already a household that was accommodating a blind...
Exactly.
Okay. So you were just like raised always...
I worked in Braille now for over 20 years.
In sign language?
No.
No. Okay.
That would be different.
That is two completely different.
Well, I know they're different, but sometimes I think
it's like learning Russian and Spanish.
Right, because one's with motions of your hands, and the other thing is feeling of your fingertips.
I feel it in my fingers.
Yeah,
are we watching Love Actually?
Yes.
Christmas is all around me.
I love it. So yes, there are two. It's two different worlds. You have one.
No, of course.
You're moving your fingers, and the other you're feeling with your like actual senses, essentially.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, no. So I worked in Braille for over 20 years. I'm a librarian by trade.
Love that. I was an English major.
Nice.
Books are my thing.
Okay, can I give you my favorite book of all time?
Yes.
Yes.
Paul Auster, The Book of Illusions.
The Book of Illusions?
Yeah.
Can I look it up?
It's called The Book of Illusions. Hold on.
Yeah, by Paul Auster.
Don't judge me for not knowing it offhand.
Yeah, I don't know this one offhand.
Fucking love that book. I read it once a year.
Really?
Oh my god, I fucking love this. The Book
Paul
of Illusions.
Auster.
2002.
Okay. I'm going to read this.
Researching life of a vanished silent film comedian. Oh my god, this sounds amazing. Okay, actually,
I love that book.
Okay.
I'm also a huge Stephen King fan. I read
everything.
Okay.
I just finished the freaking final... Okay. My entire life.
You just opened up her
I'm
heart.
Sorry. My entire life, I've been avoiding the Dark Tower series because it
Me
was
too.
overwhelming, and I just finished it like last month.
Same here. I had so much problem getting into the Dark Tower series.
I read everything else he ever wrote, but I couldn't read the series.
Okay, can I tell you my favorite?
So big. It was
my favorite Stephen King book of all time is Needful Things.
Ooh.
Needful what?
Needful Things?
I don't know.
Oh, I love
really like well, my very original favorite was Firestarter.
Oh, good one.
And then what's the Secret Attic? The one that Johnny Depp made the movie of? No. Johnny Depp made the movie.
No.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. You know what I mean. It's...
Oh.
And it's not even about a cornfield, but there's something about a cornfield.
Google it for us, because now I'm going to be irritated.
Johnny Depp and
Johnny Depp, Stephen King book.
Johnny Depp.
I'm doing it.
It's not Secret Window.
Secret Window.
Oh, shit. I think I watched that movie.
Oh, we got it spammed in the chat. Secret Window. Thank you.
But that's not. But that's not the Stephen King book. Shit. It's not the Stephen King book.
Yes, it is. It's a short story.
It's a short story. It's not a Stephen King book.
Okay, but it's still Stephen King.
Yes, related.
All right, we're splitting hairs now. We have gone so far off topic. And yes, Imani, I love the short story. I love the movie. The movie is incredible. Any movie that can have two actors carry the entire movie and have it be epically life-changing.
Okay, now I'm going to promote my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Yes!
Go for it.
Sorry, I yelled into the mic.
It's Magnolia by Magnolia by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Magnolia by Paul what?
Thomas
Anderson. 1999 film. Oh, interesting. Oh, shit. John C. Reilly is in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Philip Seymour
Julie
Hoffman? Julianne Moore?
Oh shit.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
we
okay.
might
Well,
have
we're
homework.
definitely we're definitely gonna watch that actually.
But watch the Prince of Egypt first, right?
We have a list going.
I don't know, man.
Can you
Moses and him.
tell us if you have watched our favorite movie of all time, Tombstone?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course you've watched it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
2 guns,
Just making
one's
sure.
for each of
2
you.
guns, 1 for each of you.
Pew, pew.
Okay, at this point we're delirious. That's 2 a.m. here. We have to get up in like
Yep,
4
sorry.
hours.
Sorry
and
for
drive.
keeping you up.
We
But
absolutely
please subscribe
love
and
you,
come back.
Fro.
You were such a breath
You
of fresh air after
are-
our other callers.
We love you. We love you. We love you. Please come back. Talk to us more.
No, never. I'm never ever going to talk to you
Never!
heathens.
You guys
Heathens.
are terrible. Yeah.
But what if we make a
Heathens.
pouty face?
But
Sorry?
and know that all of our followers like actually love
They really like you.
intellectual, honest conversations by people like
Do you have a Discord, by the way?
No, not currently.
We
We're-
don't currently have our own Discord channel. We're part of a Discord community and we're working on getting our channel.
Yeah.
Email us, and as soon as we get a little bit more leverage.
I'm not going to email you. You have my email.
Did you record it, dude?
I tried.
She did
You
I
know,
not.
have it in my notes app. I think it's right.
Oh, okay. She
Lima, Echo, Giraffe, Giraffe.
Yeah,
Tango,
yeah.
ice
Actually, I
cream.
have it in my notes.
Lima.
didn't. I'm gonna verify.
Lima, Echo, Giraffe, TIL@gmail.
Okay, we got you. We're gonna send you an
Dot
email.
com.
Yeah. All right.
Dot what?
Dot
No,
com.
just kidding.
Gmail.
That was sorry.
Wow.
I was
She was
rude.
being a thing. Anyways,
And that's com spelled with an O and not a U.
KUM.
no. No.
It was a joke.
All right, everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you, friend. We will email you and we will continue to reconnect. We are ending stream at 2 a.m. because I have to go spend the day with my in-laws tomorrow. And I don't get a lot of hours in between now
I can
and
get.
then.
I can send you some Valium. It's okay.
Love it. I'm emailing you right away.
That's gonna be fun.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all our new subscribers. And we hope to be live again on Monday.
Yeah, Monday, y'all. Back on Monday. See you then.